And their head coach, Bill Parcells, came down with an attack of kidney stones last night. He is in obvious discomfort, Dan, and how will that impact on the game?
Well, coaches always talk about players having to play in pain. Well, Bill's going to have to coach in pain. The way it'll affect the game is that Ron Earhart will still call the plays up in the press box, and Bill Belichick will call the defensive plays on the sidelines. Yet to be determined who will make the crucial decisions, though, if Parcells can't continue.
The Giants really need to turn things around. Minnesota is on a roll now, having won 5 in a row, but Jerry Burns has his own concerns.
Well, they lost those 5 games earlier in the year, but Burns never lost the focus that all he had to do was win 1 game in a row to turn it around. Well, they've won 5 in a row now, but Burns told us yesterday he's still not sure if that's going to be enough.
Well, given the fact that we are in mid-December, it's glorious. 46 degrees, winds out of the northwest at 12 to 18 miles per hour. Mostly sunny for the remainder of the day. Word learned just before the game of Bill Parcells' misfortune. We had a chance to chat with George Young, who the general manager, who said that Bill came down with the attack of the kidney stones last night. It is not the first time it has happened to him. First time, obviously, that it's possibly impacted on a game. He did not come out for any of the pregame warm-ups. He is in visible discomfort. He will try and go as long as he can on the sidelines.
And you know, we talked to him yesterday all afternoon. He was in very good spirits. Felt that the team was ready for this ball game and showed no signs that he was about to get ill.
Fuad Reveiz will kick off for the Minnesota Vikings. Rodney Hampton and Dave Meggett are deep. Minnesota 6-6 and in the wild card hunt. The Giants, if they win today, will clinch the NFC East. They are already in the playoffs. Riding the wind, Meggett will take it. Touchback. And Phil Simms and the New York Giants will take over from their own 20-yard line. Here is Phil Simms leading an offense that has been stagnant the last couple of weeks against Philadelphia and San Francisco. John Elliott back after 6 weeks out with a leg injury. Roberts at left guard, Oates at center, Bob Cratch is at right guard, then Riesenberg, Otis Anderson and Carthen in the backfield, Mark Ingram and Stephen Baker are the wide receivers. 1st and 10. Otis Anderson has a chance to go to across the 10,000-yard mark today. He needs 14 yards, and he got about 5 on that play. Defensively for Minnesota, Noga, Clark, Thomas, and Dolman up front. The linebackers, Studwell in his final season will play the first series, and now he gives way to Ray Berry. And the secondary, Carl Lee, Reggie Rutland, Joey Browner, who has 6 interceptions, and Darrell Fullington. Double tight end set. Howard Cross comes in now for the Giants. This is Cross in motion, followed by Brown. The toss to Anderson with Carthen leading the way. Otis Anderson has a 1st down, and he's up at the, no, I beg your pardon, up to the 26. No 1st down in the play. Tackle is made by Chris Dolman.
It would appear the Giants are going to try and get Otis that 10,000 yards here all in the 1st quarter. The one thing about the 10,000 yards for Otis, he told us that it proves that he's been a durable back. And I played with a guy in San Diego by the name of Ed White, who played for 18 years, and he told me one day that it's really not how well you play the game, it's how long you play the game, because if you play long, you have played well.
4 wide receivers in now for New York on 3rd down. 3rd and 3, opening series of the ball game. Ingram starts in motion, followed by Rutland. There's a flag down. They have an illegal motion call, and Meggett drops the ball and takes a shot from Joey Browner. Flag is down.
Giants had 2 men in motion that time, and referee Jim Tunney will give the option to the Vikings, who will decline it. Bring up 4th down.
Problems with the mic, so Phil Simms in the offense trot off. Sean Landeta will come on. Jerry Burns said again last night, I just don't know if it's too late. Speaking of the Vikings' aspirations to get into the playoffs. They started 1-1, lost 5 in a row. Leo Lewis is back to return Landeta's punt. Landeta will be kicking into the wind, and that's a line drive returnable punt. Lewis to the 50 and gets across the 50 to the 49 of the New York Giants. A 36-yard punt, 14 on the return. And the #1 punter in the NFL is being booed as he leaves the field. Rich Gannon comes on now. Took Wade Wilson's place in week 4 and has led this resurgence now with a conservative offense. Gary Zimmerman, McDaniel, Loudermilk, Kalis, Tim Irwin, the tight end Steve Jordan expected to play a big part offensively today. Walker and Anderson, Anthony Carter, and Chris Carter will start for the injured Hassan Jones. He suffered a turf toe last Sunday night against Green Bay, but he is dressed.
And the big thing that Rich Gannon has done in the last 5 games is he's only thrown 2 interceptions. Tom Moore, the offensive coordinator for the Vikings, told me the one thing that he keeps beating into Rich Gannon's head is don't turn the ball over. Don't put our defense in a position where they can't help us.
This is interesting. Play has been stopped, we are told, by Jim Tunney because of security on the field. Now, I'm not sure what that means. And I don't know that we're going to be told.
Well, maybe the knothole gang got in some way. This is a big game for both teams. Right now, with this turnover, it is because of the 3 plays and out and then the short punt, the Vikings will take over right at midfield. And this is an area on the field where they want to go for the bomb. They feel that they can be patient enough, drive the ball to midfield, that's where they want to go up top. They don't feel that they can take it the length of the field against this Giant defense.
Now we're told what the delay is, and this is kind of interesting, some of the gamesmanship that goes on, Dan. There is a door in the tunnel at the north end of the end zone which is opened. The Vikings want it closed. It could affect the wind that blows in here at Giant Stadium. So the Vikings have asked that that door be closed.
This door right here, this is very similar to the situation in Cincinnati at Riverfront Stadium, where the wind really blows in off the Ohio River right into the stadium. A lot of people have accused Paul Brown, the owner of the Bengals, with having the control to that gate up in the press box.
You know, it's interesting, though, Dan, because yesterday you and I spent time with both Phil Simms and Sean Landeta. They were out testing the wind, and we talked about the possibility of leaving that door open, and they both said, nope, it doesn't help any.
The problem at Giant Stadium is that the wind will blow at the top of the stadium from left to right. It hits the grandstand and then swirls back around. The punter, Landeta, and Phil Simms told us that the gate down here, the wind does not really come out of there that strongly as it does in other stadiums, namely Riverfront. So the big problem here, it's a little sight game going on right now. That's the wind at the flags at the top of the stadium that are straight out, and that field level they're blowing in the opposite direction.
Well, the crowd is getting restless because, as far as I know, the delay had not been explained to them. And now we're set. Apparently the door is closed.
And this is not a crowd you want to get too fired up.
Not at all. 1st and 10, no score, just underway. This will be the Vikings' first offensive play, and they have back split, 2 wide receivers to the right. Alfred Anderson hit by Steve DiOssi. No gain, may have lost a half a yard. DiOssi, an acquisition from the Dallas Cowboys a couple of years back. Defensively, he's joined by Dorsey, Howard, and Washington, though Leonard Marshall was in on that last play. Banks gets a start after 7 weeks in the inactive list with an injury. DiOssi, Johnson, and Lawrence Taylor. And the secondary, Collins and Walls, Myron Guyton, and Greg Jackson. 2nd down, 11. Leonard Marshall is in the lineup. Gannon back to throw on 1st down. Flips it left side, incomplete. Myron Guyton covering Steve Jordan, the tight end. It'll be 3rd down.
Jordan will be a big part of this pass offense today because the Giant defense likes to double team the outside receivers. This is a delay route. Gannon reads the coverage, the fact that the Giants did have his 2 wideouts covered with 2 men, and dumped it off to Jordan, but did not really deliver a catchable pass.
Wade Wilson in the breeze. Sean Salisbury standing next to him. He is inactive. Alan Rice comes in now for Herschel Walker on the passing down. 3rd and 11. Bobble. Gannon fell on it.
You saw all the Giants jumping in and out of the defensive line up there, and Gannon, a little bit rattled, wanted to know where LT was in the gang, and he'll pull out a little bit early, never got a hold on it. But this is what he's staring at. He's got Banks and LT right in his face, and he lost concentration.
During this 5-game win streak, the Minnesota Vikings have lost only 1 fumble. They have turned it around with turnovers. Harry Newsom is on the punt, no pressure. Nice high punt riding the wind. Meggett lets it go, and it will bounce and be down at the 2-yard line. Well, not an unwise decision by Dave Meggett to let it go inside the 10, but what a bounce for Harry Newsom.
He got a Landeta bounce. That's what Landetta's been doing to people all year long.
What is the image of a rebel? These are the images of a rebel. Canon's revolutionary new autofocus EOS Rebel. So easy to use, you can stop taking snapshots and start taking photographs. Rebel, rebel.
Image is everything.
EOS Rebel from Canon. So advanced, it's simple.
My main Yugoslavian and very sensitive Laker brother, Bloody Divac, looks a whole lot better now because he just shaved off his beard with the new Chic Slim Twin Plus with aloe.
How'd it go, Bloody?
Nema problema. Was the blade narrow enough?
Nema problema. How do you like the new aloe comfort strip?
I'm no longer irritating.
Try the new Slim Twin Plus with aloe. It reaches every place on every sensitive face.
So now make a good like me face?
Problema, Bloody. Big problema.
From Chic.
This is Lawrence Taylor in the circle here. Watch how he will move around and distract the quarterback, Rich Gannon. Gannon trying to get his cadence off. Now he notices that Taylor is moving around, and his eyes are right on LT, and lost his concentration and left the ball on the ground.
Nevertheless, after the outstanding punt by Harry Newsom, the Giants take over on their own 4-yard line. Backs in the eye. Otis Anderson, maybe 1 yard to the 5. Just to give you a further update on the open door controversy, we are told now that state ordinance in New Jersey refuses or does not allow for those doors to be closed. So the Giants said, and they left the door open.
The Giants have an open door policy.
See, I sit here and feed you the straight lines.
Once in a while.
And you jump all over. Well, the interesting thing about that is that Landeta said, and I think he minored in meteorology. Landeta said, nope, it doesn't help him.
Yeah, a lot of those punters minored in a lot of things.
From the end zone, Sims, sack, that's a safety. And that is also the 13th sack in the last 2 games and 1 quarter. And Chris Dolman got there first.
And the guy that concerned Sims the most yesterday when he talked to us was number 56 for the Vikings, Chris Dolman. He'll come from the left side of the screen. Sims is going to take a lot of time to get rid of this ball, but Dolman just overpowers Jumbo Elliott, and that was a big concern of Coach Parcells yesterday. The speed of Dolman and the strength, and remember, this is Elliott's first game back after being out with a hairline fracture of his lower leg.
Bill Parcells said yesterday when talking about Dolman and Elliott, my biggest concern is the speed of Dolman and the speed of the game. It's so much quicker when you get on the field on Sunday than it is in practice. That, by the way, is the 10th sack this year for Chris Dolman, who had a very slow start.
And the Viking defense continues to score points, and that's what you call a real team effort. And now they're going to get the ball in excellent field position. We'll see how far Landeta can punt this ball into that wind.
Leo Lewis will be the deep man. Landeta will go with the free kick now. 2-0 Minnesota. That's a dandy. Lewis all the way back to the 24. That is terrific downfield coverage by the New York Giants. David Whitmore downfield, number 43, to make the tackle. So a fine punt by Newsome, followed by Chris Dolman. 57-yard punt. Time has been called. 11:11 to go first quarter, and the Giants are up, or the Vikings are up 2-0.
Come on, this is us. Grab everything.
We're going to McDonald's.
Oh, yeah?
Here's your order and your gift certificates.
My keys.
Excuse me, lady.
Thank.
Mister!
The Black & Decker Air Station. It has all the pressure you need to inflate anything fast. The Black & Decker Air Station. Always at your service.
This is how easy it is to collate a mailing on an IBM laser printer. And how easy is it to collate with our major competitor? Probably now isn't the best time to ask. IBM laser printers. Suddenly, nothing else measures up.
Chris Dolman gets his 10th sack of the year. He got Phil Simms in the end zone, and just to underscore what Dan was talking about, look what this Viking defense has done in the last 3 games.
And we talked about how the Viking defense has scored as much as the Giant offense has lately. Well, the Giants offense in the last 2 weeks has only scored 16 points. So we're going to have a real interesting afternoon here.
Now Rich Gannon brings the offense up for Minnesota with a first down at the 37-yard line. Minnesota leads it 2-0. Toss it to Herschel Walker. Alfred Anderson gets a bit of a block, and Walker keeps driving out to the 41-yard line. Had a short chat with Herschel before the game began, and of course he is now the much maligned Herschel Walker in the Minnesota area. Said he's in the final year of his contract, and he doesn't know what he's going to do or what the Vikings will do with him.
You know, it'd be tough for the Vikings to get rid of him after giving up so many players to get him.
Second down from the 41. 2-0. Minnesota leads it. We've got 10:35 to go first quarter. There's a reverse. Anthony Carter looks for a block. Doesn't need one. And AC is across the 50 and down at the 46-yard line. Anthony Carter with the run. That's his second run this year. And Taylor makes the tackle.
Well, the Vikings are going to have to use some gadget plays today. They feel confident in this because they have every man accounted for as far as the blocking scheme. There's Gannon tying up the strong safety, and now Carter just gets tripped up by LT, or he might have had a huge gain.
Anthony Carter gained 13, the second run this season. The last time he ran one, it was a 10-yard pickup, and time has been called by Jim Tunney. See if he lets us know why.
Just adjusting the spot, please. It'll be first down, 48-yard line.
Change of the spot.
I think what happened is Anthony Carter hit the ground and slid a little bit, and of course they're going to go back to where his knee first touched down, and that's where they'll spot the ball.
First down and 10, Minnesota from the 48. Walker. And he is stopped after a 2-yard gain to the 46-yard line. Pepper Johnson makes the tackle. Walker had those 2 miserable games in midseason, one during which he gained 3 yards in the Monday night game against Philadelphia, came back against Green Bay and gained 9 yards. Still has not been over 100 yards this year, though he did have a 99-yard effort
And that 99-yard effort is indicative of how rough a year he's had. Because if you don't get to 100, you just don't have a 100-yard game. And here he falls 1 yard shy. And lately he's been playing awfully well, though, especially against the Bears a couple weeks back.
Play fake, Gannon. Jordan, first down at the 32. Steve Jordan, who is an outstanding player, though having a very quiet year.
Well, if you're going to beat the Giants, you got to throw it to your tight end over the middle. Jordan is the outside receiver of the two tight ends. There's Novoselsky hooking in the middle. That's a well-designed pass play for the Vikings.
Rich Gannon said yesterday, in terms of what he hopes out of his offense, he hoped for a big game from Steve Jordan and his running backs. He also said, I've got to play well. Here's another reverse. Anthony Carter in trouble. And caught for a loss at the 36.
Well, we talked about the importance of the Vikings using gadget plays. Well, you're not going to fool the Giants too often. And Carter on that play, the timing was way off. In fact, Eric Howard got out there, the nose tackle for the Giants, and turned Carter back into the middle where all his buddies were. That may be the last reverse we see, at least in this first quarter.
Well, Gannon said they had 4 or 5 in the offense today. They've used 2 of them. Though it was the same play, run different direction. Second down and 15. Straight drop back this time. Gannon pumps once, then lets it go. Everson Walls knocks the intended receiver, Anthony Carter, out of bounds.
And Carter wants to argue that Walls knocked him out of bounds, that if Walls didn't touch him, he would have come straight down and got his feet down, but the referees aren't buying any of it. Good pressure. Good pressure by the Giants. They caused Gannon to pull the ball back down, and then he lets it go after a while. We'll see if Carter had a good argument there. No, I believe he would have come down out of bounds without the shove.
3rd and 15, 2-0 Minnesota leads. Safety by Chris Dolman when he tackled Phil Simms in the end zone. Chris Carter back in the lineup. Alan Rice is as well on 3rd down. That's Jordan in motion. Alfred Anderson, will he have enough for the first down? That's going to be close, and he got it. Oh, boy. Perry Williams, number 23, finally caught up with him. But what a well-designed play in a gain of 17.
You're not going to get many first downs throwing the ball short like this to a running back. Again, it's really well-designed play as Jackson comes on the blitz, number 47. When Anderson made the grab, he was still 11 yards shy of picking up that first down. Good design and really excellent execution.
And Anderson not used that often in the backfield to catch passes, as you could see. That was his 9th of the year. Alfred Anderson for a couple to the 17-yard line.
Well, you watch this game unfold, even though it's early in the first quarter, and you see a team wearing white that's playing with a lot of confidence. And yet the guys in blue, the guys that put together that 10-game winning streak earlier this year, they're still searching for answers.
That is Mark Trestman and Tom Moore on the Minnesota sidelines. 2 of the offensive minds. Bob Schnelker, the former offensive coordinator. There's Moore on the left, Trestman on the right. Moore is officially called the offensive coordinator now. Gannon on 2nd down. Into the flat for Walker. Being chased by Carl Banks. 1st and goal, Minnesota. Herschel Walker, who has not been utilized much in the passing game, is now.
Vikings have had all kinds of trouble this year inside the 20-yard line in what a lot of teams refer to as the red zone. They rank 18th in the league. But right now they're playing with a lot of confidence, and this is a wonderful drive for Gannon. He's done a fine job of finding his receivers and picking up first downs.
And the Giants are number 1 in the league in both defense and points allowed. They've only allowed 150, including the 2 today. Here's Walker. That one didn't have much of a shot. Gary Reasons plugged up the middle, number 55. Now Moore and Trestman. You understand all that, don't you?
Yeah, that sounds like get a touchdown, boys.
And see, Gannon has that wrist card on now. He's got a list of some 13 plays. So they signal in the play. He looks at a wrist, sees what play they want to call. Looks at that card. Second down from the 4. Gannon on the rollout. Lawrence Taylor. And that will go as a sack. It's only the 7th for Taylor this year.
Well, Rich Gannon is going to learn that he is no Randall Cunningham, although he has excellent speed. To get away from Lawrence Taylor, you're going to have to do a little bit more than this. I think he was terribly surprised and disappointed when he looked up and saw the guy he had to beat was the very famous LT.
Even though that was a run-pass option, because he lost yardage on it, it will go as a sack. Chris Carter starts in motion on 3rd down. Gannon to Carter, incomplete. They'll have to settle for the field goal. Leonard Marshall applying the pressure.
Now, interesting set of play selections for the Vikings. They try a trap play on 1st down and then give their quarterback a run pass option on the 2nd, and now it's a play action on 3rd, and the Giants are all over this. Good job of staying deep in the end zone by Pepper Johnson, number 52. That forced Carter to have very little room to haul that one in.
Now Fouad Reves, who's 9 of 15 for the year, a year that started in San Diego. He is 7 of 8 with the Vikings. This will be a 22-yard field goal. 8 of 9 with Minnesota since replacing Donald Igwe-Buike. And the Vikings lead Bill Parcells and the New York Giants 5-zip with 4:55 to go, first quarter.
Today, we have a special visitor. It's Rudolph Verkushny. He's going to play classical piano with Mr. Robinson. Gee, Mr. Verkushny's a better piano player than Mr. Robinson. But Mr. Robinson can really cream him at basketball. Foul! Yes!
Millions and millions of hours in the air. After 17 years of staying up all night, every night, so that your packages can be delivered overnight to any address in America, Federal Express has become the first service company ever to win the Malcolm Baldrige National Quality Award. It's the highest honor in American business. And just how did we do this? By being absolutely, positively the best in the business.
Did you hear all about Lenny? Huh? He's a riot. Huh? He's an Archie Bunker for the 90s. Huh? It's a terrific show. You're going to love it. Lenny! Saturday.
5 seconds shy of 5 minutes to go, first quarter. Minnesota leading at 5-0. A 22-yard Reves field goal. Rathman's touchdown is tied up the San Francisco-Cincinnati game. And Pittsburgh with an early lead. Jim Kelly has thrown for 2 touchdowns in that game. Buffalo's 14-0 edge. Hampton and Meggett deep now as Reves gets set to kick off.
Jim Kelly seems to like those first quarters. Last week against the Eagles, he threw 3 touchdown passes that first quarter.
Dave Meggett. Dave Meggett. A 59-yard return. His previous longest this season had been 33.
Well, Meggett made the Pro Bowl last year as a special teams player, and he'll be going to Hawaii again this year because of plays like this. Great blocking. There's just nobody there once he gets past the wedge. And now it's the old foot race, and two guys are going to get him.
Giants hurry to the line of scrimmage after the 59-yard return. 1st and 10 from the 37, and Sims will try and strike quickly. Screen pass, Otis Anderson. 1st down at the 26. Tackle made by Ray Berry after an 11-yard gain.
That's really the shot in the arm the Giants needed, was that long kickoff return. They've been having trouble last couple weeks with their offense. Now we'll see how they do once they get inside the red zone, where they did absolutely nothing last week against the Niners.
Defensive coordinator Floyd Peters of Minnesota. Well, Bill Parcells said yesterday during our chat, I don't think there's anything special about the Minnesota special teams. And they were susceptible to the big gain on that kickoff return. Stephen Baker in motion. Here's the gadget play to Baker. Going left, chased by Merriweather up on top. Reggie Rutland also part of the tackle. Let's go back to New York. Here's Greg Gumbel with an update.
All right, Vern, you mentioned Tom Rathman's touchdown. It came on 4th and goal from the 1. 49ers cleared the way to the end zone, and they're in the 2nd quarter now. It's tied. It's 7-7 at Riverfront Stadium. Back to Vern and Dan at Giant Stadium.
Bill Parcells, and if you joined us late, suffering from an attack of the kidney stones that happened last night, in pain, he'll try and stay on the sideline for the duration of the game. It's 2nd down and 7. 5-0 Minnesota leads. Sims back. Post pattern, it's dropped. That's a should-have-had for Mark Ingram. Right in the midst. Carl Lee defending.
The Vikings had their nickel coverage in there, but Carl Lee has got Ingram singled up man-to-man. The ball is thrown perfectly right to the belly button, but Ingram can't hold on. Working against Carl Lee, a Pro Bowler, one of those special athletes that Parcells told us yesterday he's a little bit concerned with.
Well, just to amplify on that conversation as well, Parcells said Minnesota has an outstanding nickel defense, pass defense. That was a big concern of his coming in. 3rd and 7, and they don't blitz much. They're sending 4 now. Goldman coming from the left side. That pass to Baker is short of the 1st down. And what a shot he took from Carl Lee after the tackle, or after the catch.
Well, Baker will come up about 2 yards shy of the 1st down. Good protection by the Giant offensive line here as Sims can step up into the pocket and throw a real nice pass. Lee comes off his coverage in the zone and makes an excellent tackle.
4th down will bring on Matt Barr. 36-yard field goal to try and give the Giants their first points of the game. Into the wind. He's 9 of 13 for the year. And that one's going to be perfect. Wasn't even blown back by the wind coming through that open door. Giants get on the board following the 59-yard kickoff return by Dave Beckett.
In 1859, Isaac Cook created a Great American champagne to launch the Great American Clipper ships. Today, people are still launching celebrations with Cook's Imperial American Champagne.
Isotoner gloves. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2. Catch this. So take care of the hands that take care of you.
1874, the first transatlantic cable connecting Ireland and America. It was made by Siemens. That was then. This is now. Today, Siemens makes telephone switches that handle 1 million calls in a single hour, carry voice, text, and data on a single phone line. And at 23 research sites in America, the people of Siemens are developing technologies to connect us all to the future. Siemens, precision thinking.
See you in about 8 hours. Bye, Mama.
It's about time.
Ford thinks it's about time you get everything you wanted in a small American car. More interior space, better handling, better fuel economy, and a smoother ride.
It's about time.
At a price you can afford.
You came back home.
The all-new Ford Escort. World-class quality at home.
You've driven a Ford lately.
5-3. The Giants trail the Minnesota Vikings. A sellout crowd at Giant Stadium. 48 degrees. Wind is a problem today, but all in all, glorious weather for this mid-December day. 5-3. Minnesota playing here for only the second time. Fair catch. Interesting call. Made at the 18-yard line. Alan Rice with a fair catch. The Vikings take over inside their 20. 5-3. Just to bring you up to date, Chris Dolman sacked Phil Simms in the end zone for 2, and then they got 3 more to make it 5-0. Now the big play by Meggett, but it's still been. What do you think of the defense so far?
Well, I think that the special teams of the Vikings haven't been too special. That was really a strange play there with the fair catch inside the 20-yard line. But the big play, of course, that got the Giants back into this game, back having the feeling of confidence, is that big long kickoff return by Dave Meggett.
Now with their poorest field position following the fair catch, Minnesota takes over at the 18-yard line. Gannon play fake. He will throw on first down, maybe. That is a forward pass. Jim Tunney so rules. And Tunney was immediate with the call as Lawrence Taylor got there. A lot of conversation in the New York area about age beginning to tell on 31-year-old Taylor.
Well, they're moving him around the last couple of weeks. Here he comes from the left side, and nobody comes to block him. I mean, you're playing the New York Giants, and you're not going to block Lawrence Taylor. Come on, if I'm the quarterback, I'm going to say, give the ball to the head coach and say, you go play against him.
Second down and 10. Chris Carter starts in motion. Herschel Walker. Steve Diassi, number 99, up on top. And I see Leonard Marshall continuing to play. Marshall had been replaced at that right end spot by John Washington. And Leonard not too happy about his current status with the New York Giants.
He was really disappointed after the Philly game when he only played 5 plays in the second half of that game. A lot of talk about the Giants not having any pass rush this year. Leonard Marshall says, well, you put me in. I am the pass rush.
Well, he is playing now. 3rd and 8. Shotgun. Alan Rice back in the lineup for the Minnesota Vikings. Steve Jordan starts in motion. 4-man rush. Gannon finds a receiver right side. Alan Rice fumbles out of bounds. It'll be 4th down. Mark Collins makes the tackle at the 25-yard line. And just like that, the crowd back into this thing.
Yeah, that's more like it. The Giant fans are used to seeing that defense only play 3 plays at a time. Bring on the punting team.
Now Dave Meggett, who is averaging 12.1 yards returned, and we mentioned the special teams of Minnesota. The Vikings are giving up 12.5 yards per punt return. You don't often see teams yielding double-figure averages. Here's Harry Newsom. Meggett. Pretty good downfield coverage that time. Tackle made by John Randall, number 93. 38-yard punt, 6 on the return. Well, let's tell you how we got to where we are. Minnesota scored first. Dolman tackled Simms in the end zone. And then a 22-yard Faude Reves field goal following the free kick made it 5-0. A 59-yard kickoff return by Meggett set up Matt Barr's 36-yard field goal.
And Meggett just made another outstanding play. That was a terrible punt by Newsom. Very low and very short. And Meggett was in a full sprint up to the ball, made the grab, and gave his offense excellent field position.
Now Rodney Hampton, the #1 draft choice, who hasn't had much work recently, will get the toss from Simms on first down. Hampton has had problems picking up the blitz. It's been his blocking assignments that cost him playing time more than anything else.
That's probably the toughest thing for rookies when they join the NFL. Remember, Hampton came out of college down there at Georgia a year early, and they didn't throw the ball a whole lot down there. It's a very difficult thing to recognize all the different types of blitz and stunts that you have to pick up as a running back, and that's been Rodney's biggest problem so far this year.
Hampton with 180 yards for the season. Most in one game is 39. They'll give it to him again. That's one thing he can do now that Otis Anderson in his mid-30s can't do. That's that little darting move right at the line of scrimmage. That will be the final play of the first quarter of play. Rodney Hampton's run gives the Giants a third down. It's 5-3. The Minnesota Vikings lead the New York Giants by 2.
In Division I AA, it's settled on the field. Georgia Southern tries to repeat as national champion. The Division I AA football championship next Saturday.
This is a child's room, filled with all the things that will make an impression on them for a lifetime. I'm Rick Fenney of the Minnesota Vikings, and this is my wife Tracy and our 1.5-year-old daughter Brittany.
As parents, we know how important that love and security are, particularly during the first 6 years, and so does the United Way of the Minneapolis area.
That's why they have pioneered a comprehensive new initiative called Success by 6. This program brings the strength of corporate America together with the resources of the United Way.
Children are dependent upon us. We need to help them develop physically, intellectually, and emotionally to fulfill their potential, to realize their own self-worth, to fulfill their dreams.
When you give to the United Way, you are saying you want every child to have a chance at life. Success by 6 works, but only if we care. United Way, it brings out the best in all of us.
This message furnished by the National Football League.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Ford and your Ford dealer. Have you driven a Ford lately? McDonald's, you know the one. It's McDonald's for food, folks, and fun. And by Cook Champagne Cellars. Cook Champagne, discovered every day since 1859.
Giant Stadium, East Rutherford, New Jersey. Vern Lundquist and Dan Fouts, 5-3 as we start the second quarter. Little cat and mouse game going on now as the Giants get ready to call the play on third down. Floyd Peters and the Minnesota Vikings were waiting to see what personnel they had in, and now he sends in his defensive players to make the change. And out comes Barry and Deuce Bobick.
This is an either-or situation where they could run it with the big fellas or put in the little guys and throw it. Giants got the little guys in, so the Vikings are bringing in their defensive backs.
Little guy personified by Dave Meggett, the third down specialist. Meggett out on the pass pattern. Sims looks for him and finds him. And it's first down, New York at the 33. Joey Browner with the tackle.
Outstanding job of Sims giving Meggett the time to work his pattern against number 47, Joey Browner. Meggett will go down and in and then back to the outside, and he leaves Browner in his dust. First down, New York.
Dave Meggett out on first down. He leads both wide receivers by a bunch with those 30 catches. Giants don't throw much to the wideouts. Mark Ingram, one of them, goes in motion. Rodney Hampton. That's the move that Anderson can't do, but there's a flag, and they'll bring it back. And I don't mean to say that Anderson can't do it, but Hampton has that quickness now that Anderson used to have.
Yeah, and somebody in the offensive line was too quick.
Number 89, 5 yards, still first down.
That's the quiet man of the Giants, Mark Bavaro, who was fined, by the way, $7,500 reportedly by the league, by Commissioner Paul Tagliabue, for making contact with an official in the Philadelphia game.
The problem with that is there were not enough good pictures of the incident to show and to give Bavaro a case to where he didn't push the official down.
First down and 15. Draw play, Hampton. Look at that line surge in the direction of the New York Giants.
Well, Parcells told us that his team needs to get confidence, and that confidence is going to come from this offensive line of the Giants. They're going to give the ball to their running backs going straight ahead against these Vikings. And he hopes, Parcells this will give the Giants back their confidence, and right now it appears that it's working.
Second down and 9, 5-3. Minnesota has the lead. Hampton with Carson leading the way. Short of the first down at the 26-yard line. Tackle made by Al Noga, number 99. And Noga, who's been a big factor for the Minnesota Vikings, might have been injured on the play. Noga's down.
This is a big injury for Noga. He's number 99 on the right side of the screen here, and he gets over that block by Jumbo Elliott, gets in on the tackle here, just flying through the air, and big Ken Clark just lands right on top of him. Watch this block by Maurice Carthen on Dolman there, and he drills Carthen. But that's going to be a match to watch all day long, is the blocking of Maurice Carthen against guys like Chris Dolman.
Al Noga, the injured player, and time has been called.
Everybody's talking about fuel economy. But Chevy trucks are doing something about it. Chevy trucks give you better gas mileage than Ford. In fact, the Chevy C1500 Standard V6 gives you better gas mileage than any full-size Ford pickup. Maybe that's why more truck owners are switching to Chevy trucks. More people are winning with
the heartbeat of America. Today's truck is Chevrolet.
Citizen ProMaster Diver's Chronograph. Digital depth sensor. Elapsed dive time alarm.
So, exactly how long have you been a diver?
Citizen ProMaster. For professional use only.
Hey, who's this?
Introducing holiday specials from Kentucky Fried Chicken. Just $9.99 each.
So, really, what do we owe you?
You know, this celebrity business isn't all it's cracked up to be. Sure, I get to travel all over the country, but I'd rather just hang out and have a Miller Lite with the guys. Having another round of lights? Me and the boys don't want some watered-down version of a regular beer. Hey, thanks. We want the less filling beer that really tastes great. Right, guys? Hey, anybody for a game of pool? Yeah, sure. All right, well, let's go.
Get the picture? When it's Miller Lite, less filling really tastes great.
Your breakdown.
A little room, boys.
This game summary is sponsored by AT&T, the right choice.
2 of the 5 Minnesota points credited to the defense. A sack by Dolman. Lawrence Taylor has 1 sack thus far. It's 5-3. Minnesota leads it with 13:04 to go first half. Al Noga, by the way, walked off by himself. Bill Parcells, one-time assistant coach at Army, went home early yesterday afternoon to watch the Army-Navy game. Said he still enjoys driving up to West Point, just spending the afternoon walking around the campus. 3rd down and 3. Giants with Ingram in motion. Sims on the draw play to Hampton. And jammed up short of the first down. Ray Berry makes the tackle, and will they go for the first down and the field goal? Well, a big decision now, and everybody has in mind the 4th down effort last week on Monday night, 4th and 9.
Field goal. They're going to try. And this is a good move here early in the game. A field goal here in this case will put the Giants ahead by 1 point.
So Matt Barr comes on 4th and 1. They will measure.
The Giants are a team that has had a lot of success going for it on 4th down. Of course, everybody's going to remember the one play last week against the Niners, but they've 50%, 7 out of 14 success rate on 4th down.
But the interesting thing about that, Dan, is that they hit their first 5 of the season, and they are only 2 of their last 7 on 4th down. Parcells is changing his mind.
I would look for a quarterback sneak from Phil Sims right here. When you've only got 6 inches to go like that, the coaches really don't want to take the ball any further back from the line of scrimmage to hand it to a running back. They would like to see the quarterback just bury his nose right behind his center and guard and dig it out.
Otis Anderson. Oh, that's going to be close. Jumbo Elliott says we got it. Al Noga says no, you didn't. Jim Tunney says bring the chains out.
Joey Browner's got the 2 fingers about an inch apart, holding it up.
See whose eyesight is the best.
I really think they made a mistake here, not just sneaking it forward.
You don't disagree with the decision to go for the 4th down?
No, absolutely not. I disagree with the play selection. Sims, a big, strong guy. and they don't get it.
Oh, watch Sims down there to argue the cause. John Randall says, Jim Tunney has the last word.
Watch the penetration of the defensive line. Number 50 is Ray Berry, and he is going to hit right there as Anderson lowers his head right into Berry's jaw. But watch number 50 plug this hole on the right side here. He gets help from Brim on one side, but it's Berry who stops Anderson cold.
And the Giants are now 2 of their last 8 on 4th down attempts. 1st and 10, Minnesota. They hold on to a 5-3 lead. Herschel Walker tiptoes up to the 27. There is Michael Brim, Mike Merriweather, Ken Stills. Houston has scored again on a fumble return, and they are rolling over Cleveland.
Well, you know, every quarterback in the league would like to have Cleveland on their schedule. When a team's going bad, it seems like everybody's just laying for them, knowing they're going to roll up some big stats against them.
12:09 to go first half. 2nd down and 7. 5-3. Vikings lead it. Safety and a field goal. A fake draw. Gannon can run. Slides down with a 1st down at the 36-yard line.
Gannon is very quick to make up his mind in the pocket. He'll look for one receiver, and if he doesn't see him, he has so much confidence in this right here. His ability to get up the field and pick up the 1st down. He's going to have to learn how to slide a little bit softer there as he bangs his right shoulder and head on this hard surface.
Gannon for the season 206 yards and a 4.7 yards per carry average. Not in Randall Cunningham's league, but not bad. 1st and 10. Chris Carter starts in motion. Almost bobbled by Herschel Walker, and then he bangs it out across the 40 to the 41-yard line. The tackle made by Greg Jackson, number 47.
I think Herschel may have taken his eyes off the ball because he saw something blue with a number 56 flying up in the air. Watch LT come across the line of scrimmage. Alfred Anderson will try and block him, and does, but Herschel had to be distracted just a little bit. That's one way of protecting your legs, but he misses the tackle, and Walker gets about 6.
2nd down and 4. 5-3 Minnesota. Splitbacks on 1st down. Gannon with good protection finds Jordan, chased by Pepper Johnson, and that's a big gain down to the 42-yard line. 17 yards, and the offensive line did an outstanding job.
They really, really did. The Giants, of course, have had all kinds of trouble this year getting pressure on the quarterback, but the Viking offensive line, they are playing very well through this winning streak. And one thing that's happened is they've gotten healthy. A lot of problems up front there. Zimmerman playing with a broken finger, but they're all healthy now, and they're playing with a lot of confidence.
1st and 10. 5-3 with 10:09 to go first half. Sweep. Walker. Lot of blocking. And he bumps Greg Jackson backwards. And then Pepper Johnson makes the tackle, but Jackson went south.
Yeah, you're not going to tackle Herschel Walker at 225 to 230 pounds up high. He's got the big shoulder pads, but under those shoulder pads, he's got huge shoulders. Watch the explosion here right in the chest of Jackson. He heads south, and now Pepper comes over and makes him pay for it, but not before Herschel picks up a 1st down.
Gain of 15. Walker has 34 yards on 7 carries. It's 1st and 10. 5-3 Vikings lead. Midway through the 2nd quarter. Here comes Lawrence Taylor. There goes Rich Gannon. By John Washington. By Carl Banks. And down to the 19-yard line. Boy, the minute Taylor started coming, Gannon tucked it and took off.
Yeah, I wish I could do that, or could have done that. Oh, I tell you, it's so nice to have that to fall back on, that athletic ability to run the ball as well as Rich Gannon does, and he's given his team a couple of big plays on this drive.
Been an impressive Minnesota drive. Eric Howard checks out in the nose tackle. Chris Carter starts in motion on second down. Alfred Anderson finds room at right guard, and he's got a first down at the 15.
And you think back to Parcells' decision to go for it on fourth down, and the Vikings with Ray Berry coming up and making that big tackle. It seems to have given the momentum back to the purple sideline here. Because this offense, this is a wonderful drive. They started on their 24, and this will be their 8th play coming up. They've controlled the ball on the line of scrimmage. That offensive line is really doing the job.
Big plays thus far have been a pass to Jordan and a run by Walker. 17 and 15 yards respectively. They'll throw on first down. Again, incomplete at the 13. Anthony Carter. Carl Banks hitting from behind. Pepper Johnson also there.
Very important for the Vikings to come away on this drive with at least 3 points. That will turn into almost a 4-point play, because they would have been behind by 1 point if the Giants had kicked the field goal to make it 6-5. So I'm not used to dealing in these single digits.
I understood all that.
Like this.
Well, that's what scares me. I know what you were talking about. Oh, they got to keep us together for a while. Second down and 10.
You get the same ward.
Gannon. Good block from Zimmerman. What a play. Oh, dandy. And here's Jordan down to the 1. What a superbly executed play. And Gary Zimmerman suckered Lawrence Taylor and came in and kicked him out of the way.
Well, this is a play that we, the Chargers, invented. This is a tight end screen. Watch Steve Jordan just fake a block here at the line of scrimmage. He'll go down and lay there for a while. Gannon rolls out. Now it's a throwback screen to the tight end. Loudermilk and Kalis are out front, and Jordan takes it down to the 1-yard line. Perfect execution and an excellent call by Tom Moore.
Gary Zimmerman got the block on Taylor, then Loudermilk got the block on Guyton. It's first and goal. Only 6 rushing touchdowns this year for the Minnesota Vikings. Now make it 7. They've not been that effective on the ground in close. But Alfred Anderson gets his first touchdown of 1990.
A precision drive by the Vikings, finished off with a little bit of power here over the right side. Herschel leads in there, doesn't really block anybody, and Alfred Anderson takes the low road for the 6.
Reves will try the extra point. This all began with Ray Berry's tackle on a 4th down play at the 24. Extra point is good. And the Minnesota Vikings have assumed a 9-point lead with 7:21 to go first half.
Which 4x4 half-ton pickup gives you better ground clearance, Chevy or Ford? Both try to drive over this protected camera cage. First, the Chevy, plenty of clearance. But the Ford, cameras don't lie. No wonder more truck owners switched to Chevy last year than to any other truck. When it comes to ground clearance, more people are winning with
Heartbeat of America.
Now it's easy to win with the heartbeat.
Look, I used to really be into designer labels. I have a closet full of suits with foreign names and shirts with alligators on them. One day, I happened to stop into Anderson Little, and I noticed they have the same quality wool suits that I usually get. But I'm spending hundreds less. I'm spending hundreds less. And I'm thinking, my wife's right. I am a jerk.
Through Monday, save 30 to 50% on coats and outerwear.
Doubleheader Sunday on CBS, and coming up next, most of you will watch Chicago or Washington, except those of you in the New York area, New Orleans at the Rams. How significant as the playoff push continues that Chicago-Washington game is, Dan?
Right now, Washington would be a wild card, and the Bears are playing for that home field advantage. So I think the Bears are going to be in tough there at RFK.
Well, the Redskins always seem to start playing really well in December. That is not to say they don't play well most of the season. Here's Rodney Hampton with a short kickoff, and he manages to get it out across the 30 near the 33-yard line. 10 yards on the return. Minnesota with a 10-play drive featuring the running of Herschel Walker, the passing of Rich Gannon, and Steve Jordan very much involved. Anderson got the touchdown, and Minnesota has a 9-point edge.
The Windsurfer from Citizen ProMaster. Rotating compass bezel. Auto-repeat fixed timer.
I can't believe that's really you up there.
Citizen ProMaster. For professional use only.
The Black & Decker Workmate. About all it can't help you do is clean up. But at least it gets out of your way, and it's a powerful gift idea.
You know, this celebrity business isn't all it's cracked up to be. Sure, I get to travel all over the country, but I'd rather just hang out and have a Miller Lite with the guys. Having another round of lights? Me and the boys don't want some watered-down version of a regular beer. Hey, thanks. We want the less filling beer that really tastes great. Right, guys? Right. Hey, anybody for a game of pool? Yeah, sure. All right, well, let's go.
Get the picture? When it's Miller Lite, less filling really tastes great.
Your break, Dan.
A little room, boys.
Getting to know you, getting to know all about you.
Not long ago, Honda and Toyota were known for the highest mileage. But today, there's Geo, the most fuel-efficient line of cars and trucks in America. Get to know Geo at your Chevrolet Geo dealers.
Getting to know.
You wouldn't buy a used car from this guy, would you? He's so dishonest, he makes the other crooks you've met on 60 Minutes look like angels, and he brags about it tonight on CBS.
The sellout crowd at Giant Stadium a little bit silent right now as the Minnesota Vikings have reassumed control of the ball game. 7:10 to go in the half. And the Vikings up 12-3. Giants 1st and 10 at their own 34-yard line. Minnesota has been susceptible to the run this year. And Phil Simms will throw after a play fake on 1st down, going deep. Reggie Rutland defending, the catch made by Stephen Baker.
You see Rutland hanging his head a little bit there. He was all over this play, but Simms put it in perfect position to Ingram. Actually, it's Stephen Baker here. Watch this throw, though. It's a perfect strike. And Rutland goes over the top and misses with the swipe. And a big 36-yard gain for the Giants. And it's really up to Phil Simms at this point with his team down by 9 points to provide the leadership by example and by his play. And he's off to a good start doing that. Oh, there's a nice step in the back there by Joey Browner.
Ouch. Rutland injured on the play. 3 tackles so far. Time has been called while they tend to Reggie Rutland. Big play, 36 yards by Baker and Simms.
Miami battles Texas. The Mobile Cotton Bowl Classic, New Year's Day.
AT&T, the right choice. Walter Payton holds the NFL record with 10 1,000-yard rushing seasons. But who was the first running back ever to gain 1,000 yards rushing in each of his first 3 seasons? Larry Brown of the Redskins, John Brockington of the Packers, or Kurt Warner of the Seahawks? Which would you choose?
What is that? Looks like a bunch of old timber. Take a break, guys. I'll make a phone call.
Don't touch anything. I'll be right there. We've got a major find here.
The 2 worlds of archaeology and architecture seem to have collided today. The place is literally crawling with activity. And from what I understand, time is limited.
I think this might help you.
Oh, yes, it does.
Sean, it's a face. It's a face.
Figurehead.
John John Brockington of the Packers rushed for over 1,000 yards in 1971, 72, and 73. If you said Brockington, you made the right choice.
The Chevy Corsica has better aerodynamics than a Porsche 928 and a gas-charged independent front suspension, which helps you hold the road. Corsica also has a new user-friendly interior, which helps you hold the most important things. It's a very comforting way more people are winning with.
The heartbeat of America, that's today's Chevrolet.
And now it's easy to win with an efficient new Chevy Corsica.
Coming up Saturday on CBS, the NCAA Division I AA football championship, Nevada against Georgia Southern, the defending champions.
And I really like the way they do things in the Division I AA because they play a playoff series, and so you have to have a winner each game. Last week, Nevada, Reno beat Boise State 59-52 in 3 overtimes. I wonder if Coryell is coaching there in Reno.
Air Nevada. 1st and 10 after the 36-yard play. Hampton tries to get outside, does. Goes right by Ray Berry. And he is tackled at the 25-yard line by Joey Browner. Put a nifty move on the Minnesota linebacker.
Yeah, linebackers hate that, especially middle linebackers, to get out there in space because that really exposes some of their weaknesses. We saw Berry come up and make the big stick on the 4th and short yardage situation. Well, that time Hampton got a little bit of revenge for his ball club.
6:05 to go first half. 2nd and 5, New York at the Viking 25. Hampton to the 11. And with that run, Rodney Hampton has equaled his season-high number of yards in a game, 39.
This is a beautiful job of finding the hole on the strong side, getting through it, and now using your athletic ability to break tackles and get into the secondary. Watch as Hampton comes to the left side, but sees it open up on the right side and just squeezes through a little crack.
Fullington and Berry made the tackles. It's 1st and 10. They'll try Hampton again. Carson with the block. Hampton to the 1-yard line. Flag is down. The flag thrown at the point of the tackle. Face mask, Minnesota.
And that's usually what happens when they do throw it at the point of tackle and not the point of attack.
Face mask, a 5-yard penalty, half the distance of the goal line. It'll be 1st down.
Darrell Fullington made the tackle.
When you got a horse that's running, you ride him, and that's what Parcells is doing right now. Although Hampton is on the sidelines with a well-deserved rest, he has put his team inside the 1.
Otis Anderson has 8 touchdowns on the ground this year, and he is in the lineup now. Carthen, the blocking back. They line up in the I. 3 tight ends. Anderson caught, lost a yard.
Boy, oh boy, that's a real strange play there. You're a half yard from the goal line, and you're trying to go wide with a real slowly developed play. I mean, sneak it 4 times, you're going to make 6 inches here. Watch the play go wide to the right here, slow developing, and the Giants are going to pay for it as Joey Browner comes from the entire opposite side of the ball to make the tackle. I know Parcells isn't happy with that play selection.
2nd and goal. This time they'll try the middle. Flag is down. And he was thrown by Jim Tunney. There is no touchdown.
This may be a legal procedure against the Giants. Because the flag was thrown as soon as the ball was snapped. Something to do with one of the linemen not reporting as a tight end. It appears to be William Roberts. That's who he's talking about. You have to report each and every play if you're an ineligible receiver, or an eligible receiver in this case. Well, he's picking up the flag. He's saying there's no penalty on the play, that Roberts did indeed report as a tight end.
Now the play was stopped just outside the goal line, so it'll be 3rd down.
And you know that if the Giants don't get it here, they will go for it on 4th down. I think that precedent has already been set.
I believe it was. That much for the touchdown.
Yeah, size 13. That's all they need.
They are now communicating with a replay booth. I would think it's about the spot of the ball. That's the umpire, Mark Baltz.
Yeah, what would we do without the instant replay? We probably already know if it's a touchdown or not, huh?
Being looked at for forward progress.
Now they were checking for the spot of the ball. The replay official today is Bill Petty.
They want to know if it's 6 inches away or 7 inches away. Come on, give us a break. Let's play ball.
Do I get just the tiniest note of cynicism there?
I hated it as a player. I think I hate it even more now.
3rd and goal. Anderson's 9th rushing touchdown this year.
Well, I think Anderson wanted to save Parcells from having to make that decision on 4th down. Watch the determination of Carthon and Anderson as they get their shoulders and leaning forward, getting into that end zone. And there's Ray Berry sitting on his wallet.
The big play in the drive, a 1st down pass of 36 yards, Sims to Stephen Baker. Matt Barr's extra point is perfect. Otis Anderson with his 9th rushing touchdown. 3:51 to go in the half, and the lead again is 2.
I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors shining through. Don't be afraid to let them show.
Catch the true colors of the season on Kodacolor Gold film.
12-10, the difference in the ball game now. The first 2 points scored. Chris Dolman when he sacked Phil Sims in the end zone to open the scoring at 2-0. Both teams with a touchdown. And Matt Barr getting ready to kick off. 12-10, Minnesota leads it. One of the interesting factors about the Vikings in the last couple of years has been their inability to win outdoors. They are 15-2 under the domes around the league, 1-11 outside.
And of all the teams most identifiable with playing in winter, snowy, sleety, terrible weather, it was the Purple Gang there playing at the Minnesota Vikings, and yet only 1-11 the last 2 years playing outdoors.
That only win, that one win, was at Tampa Bay last year.
Snowbirds is what they've turned into.
Yeah, right. Matt Barr, Herschel Walker at the 16, very short kickoff. Walker with some room. Matt Barr, a flag is down that might negate this run. Walker, who had a 64-yard kickoff return 2 weeks ago against Chicago. And this is a big one, but they're going to bring it back.
But did you see Walker at the end of the play? He's really getting a kick out of sending these little New York Giants flying off those big shoulders of his. He sent Troy Kyles flat on his back as he bounced off, but it's going to all come back. Illegal block.
Holding number 30 during the run back. It's 10 yards on 1st down.
This is what we're talking about. Watch number 84, Troy Kyles, get surprised here by the power of Herschel Walker. Boom.
He's going to go over and talk to Greg Jackson about what that feels like. They can compare notes.
Well, if he keeps tackling like that, he'll be off the special teams, that's for sure.
That's a 57-yard return that now becomes less than, well, it's negative yardage. They're back at the 14-yard line. Gannon will throw on 1st down. Right flat, caught by Anthony Carter. And that's a quick first down after the 31-yard line.
Well, last week, the Giants did a great job of shutting down Jerry Rice, but so far today, Anthony Carter is getting different type of coverage here. This is man-to-man coverage by Collins, and Collins is playing often to the inside, and Gannon rolled away from pressure and threw a nice pass. That really gets his ball club out of that hole created by that illegal block.
First catch for Anthony Carter, who had that brilliant catch that helped secure the win last Sunday night against Green Bay. Walker on the sweep. Hang right. And John Washington. He is not Greg Jackson. He is not Troy Kiles.
Well, Washington weighs about 275, and when Herschel lowered his shoulders, he didn't go anywhere. Washington stuffed him right at the line of scrimmage.
Of course, it was here in the USFL with the New Jersey Generals that Herschel Walker had such a great start to his pro career, and one of his blocking backs then was Maurice Carthen, who is now the blocking back with the New York Giants.
Carthen is the best blocking back in football.
Second down and 9. Gannon back into the flat. Alfred Anderson. Whoa, what a block by Randall McDaniel. Oh, gee. A pancake on Steve Diassi.
Well, Parcells likes to call Diassi the beach ball because of the shape of his body. Watch as Randall McDaniel is going to take the air out of the beach ball right there. But, you know, you see Ossie on the ground there. He still reached back and tried to make that tackle. Excellent effort.
Oh, 2-minute warning. That looked like something you see inside a wrestling ring. 12-10. Minnesota leads a good ball game.
How to build a Christmas fire. 1, roll up your sleeves. 2, get down on your knees. 3, use a little paper. 4, strike the perfect match. 5, step back and feel the heat. Nothing burns brighter with love at Christmas than the fire of a diamond.
You can spot someone who saved money with a second-rate antifreeze a mile away. Not all antifreeze is the same. Nothing beats Prestone. And that's something you might appreciate down the road.
When it comes to buying a color TV, many people think state-of-the-art begins overseas, when the truth is, state-of-the-art starts here. You just have to know what to ask for. Ask for the only TVs with a great picture and 4 ways to enjoy stereo sound, like Bose and Dolby Surround. Ask for picture-in-picture with triple flashback. Ask for the hottest ideas in home theater. Ask to see a Zenith. For true innovation in television, quality never looked more like a Zenith.
12-10, Minnesota leads it. They have the ball at the 2-minute warning. Steve Diassi on the sidelines, probably wondering if he's going to get teased by his teammates when they look at the tapes on Tuesday.
I just find out this information. I don't make it up, maybe, but, you know, he's got all these different colors. He's got the blonde hair, the real red face, the blue shirt. He looks like a beach ball.
Tell you what, he's a gregarious guy, very likable. Steve Diassi, one-time Cowboy, out of Boston College. 3rd and 5. Shotgun formation. Jordan starts in motion. Gannon into the flat, incomplete. Intended for Allen Rice. It'll be 4th down.
That time Gannon just made up his mind too soon. He looked downfield briefly to his tight end Steve Jordan, but then he just dumped it way too soon. And now the Giants, with all 3 timeouts, are going to have excellent field position, and they're going to be punting to Dave Meggett. And it's not always a certainty that this fella here, Harry Newsom's, going to hold on to the ball from the snap.
Had a punt blocked last week against Green Bay. And the Vikings have given up that 12.5 yards per punt average. That's a good one. Meggett at the 23. Oh, good downfield coverage this time by the Vikings, and Meggett is stopped at the 27-yard line. A 41-yard punt and only 4 on the return. Here's the way the scoring has gone. Dolman tackled Sims in the end zone, safety in the first quarter. 22-yard Reve's field goal following the free kick made it 5-zip. Then the Giants got on the board. Matt Barr's 36-yard field goal. In the second quarter, Anderson's 1-yard run, Alfred Anderson, and then Otis Anderson made it 12-10 with 3:51 to go. And coming up at the half, Greg and Terry. All the scores and highlights around the NFL. Sims out of the shotgun. Left side, dropped by Meggett, who might have felt Reggie Rutland coming. Looked like he turned his head upfield.
And the ironic thing about it is he still gets popped right in the chops, too. And we always tell the receivers, hey, listen, you might as well hang on to it. They're going to hit you anyway. They don't care if you have the ball or not.
Now Sims, 4 of 7 for 68 yards. More than half of that came on the big pass to Stephen Baker. 4 wide receiver set. This is trips right. Formation they wanted to call on 4th and 9 on Monday night. Sims deep in the middle. Incomplete, tipped away. Audrey McMillan got a hand up.
Well, McMillan is playing as well as anybody in the secondary for the Vikings. 2 interceptions last week against the Packers, and this is a big play because Kyles had a step on him, but the recovery time, 2 hands on the ball, no interference. Big play by McMillan.
One-time quarterback in the Southwest Conference at the University of Houston, Audrey McMillan.
He had a sure interception against the Packers last week that he would have taken right into the end zone. His easiest catch, and he dropped it.
3rd and 10. Giants trail by 2. Sims across the middle. That one's tipped. And it was Carl Lee who got his right hand up. And again, Ingram, the open receiver.
We're seeing some outstanding athletic plays by the secondary of the Vikings. Usually you talk about their front 4 and their linebackers as being the athletes, but watch Carl Lee avoid the pass interference and knock the ball away from what appeared to be a wide open receiver.
Timeout has been called by the Giants.
Boy, and that's a real mistake by the Giants. They were missing one player. It appears to be Troy Kyles. So they do the Vikings a favor by calling a timeout here.
Dean Witter believed in priorities.
Know why your clients are saving. Know why they're investing.
Okay, come on, folks.
At some point, it's college. Later on, retirement. But Dean Witter knows that often the highest priorities are all the things that happen in between.
Is there anything else you want?
Just the first dance.
There are many ways to measure success.
We measure success one investor at a time.
Sean Landetta back to punt. Leading punter in the National Football League in both gross yards and net yards. Leo Lewis to return it. That is returnable. Maybe. No, Lewis let it bounce right by him. It came over to the left side, and Lewis, I guess, didn't think he had a good angle. And Landetta's going to love that, because Sean Landetta has bonus clauses in his contract to the tune of about $130,000 if he leads the league in gross, net, and number of punts down inside the 20. And right now, he is first in the league in gross, second by 0.2 of a yard in net average to Mike Horan of Denver, and first in the league inside the 20. He's having a good year.
He might want to send a bouquet or something to Leo Lewis, because he let that ball bounce and hit the ground, and it rolled 17 yards. So big mistake.
67 yards, and Landetta will go to the bank on it, perhaps. So now then, Minnesota at the 6-yard line. 1st and 10. Up the middle, Alfred Anderson.
What that does to the Vikings' way of thinking is no longer are they worried about going and getting points. They're just worried about getting out of here, out of this situation, without giving up any points. And I'm not so sure that Jerry Burns wanted his quarterback to call timeout in this instance.
No, that was called by the Giants. They stopped the clock.
Well, that makes a lot of sense, because now the Giants are thinking, hey, let's hold them now. The next 2 plays, force them to punt and give Meggett a chance to give us good field position.
But, Dan, one of those tiny little things in a game. Think back to just a moment ago when the Giants had to use one of their timeouts that might now prove costly if they get the ball back.
Yeah, uncharacteristic mistakes there by both teams.
Rich Gannon has used the timeout to chat with Jerry Burns, Bill Parcells. If you joined us late, Bill Parcells came down with an attack of the kidney stones last night and did not come out for the pregame warm-up. Determined that he would try and make it through the game, and thus far he's been on the sideline for the duration. 2nd down and 7. Herschel Walker. Oh, what a big play for Minnesota. That's a 1st down out to the 19-yard line with 1:02 remaining.
And Walker comes real close to busting this one for about a 90-yarder. The Giants are up there close. They're trying to make this stop for no gain. And watch the crack, and Herschel explodes there. And if it's not for Greg Jackson hog-tying him and putting him down on the 20-yard line, Herschel would be celebrating a long touchdown run here. Good job of heading upfield, using all that strength and power and speed, picking up a big 1st down.
This timeout was called by the Minnesota Vikings, so they use one of their 3 as this chess match continues. Walker with 46 yards now on 9 carries. Leo Lewis and Alan Rice have joined the offensive lineup for the Vikings. 12-10. Minnesota on top. 1st and 10 Vikings. Handoff. Alan Rice stopped. Dropped. Lost a couple. Pepper Johnson leads the cheers after leading the tackle.
Interesting that Parcells is not going to use that last time out here. Well, it's amazing that he can even be out on the field. You know, coaches always talk to their players about playing in pain, and yet the players say, well, what does he know about pain? Well, Bill Parcells is setting an outstanding example of playing in pain. What that's all about today, he's got to be just hurting.
Clock will expire unless this is an incomplete pass. Will not be. So both teams content after all the back and forth in the final minute to go into the locker room at 12-10. Rich Gannon and the Minnesota Vikings lead Bill Parcells and the New York Giants 12-10 at the end of the 1st half of play.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by today's Chevrolet, who invite you to see why more people are winning with a heartbeat of America. Federal Express, absolutely positively the best in the business. And by Miller Lite, with a reminder to please think when you drink this holiday season.
On Wall Street, fortunes are won and lost and won again before 10:30. Amid the halls of ivy, the best ideas often come and go before 10:30. And on the back lots of Hollywood, love often blooms and fades before 10:30. Which is why Federal Express delivers before 10:30 at more places around the country than anyone else. Federal Express, absolutely, positively the best in the business.
Isotoner gloves. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. He'd kill for my driving gloves. Get that guy a pair of gloves. He'll freeze out there. Now this is a great sack. Catch this. La 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 la. So take care of the hands that take care of you.
Everything the Germans know about brewing beer can be summed up in one word. Beck's, the #1 imported German beer.
Prism from Panasonic. Inbar mass technology. Advanced dome sound system. Massive speakers ported for maximum impact. resolution, picture-in-picture engineering. All the technical explanation in the world won't prepare you for what you see and hear. Prism from Panasonic.
With Chase Visa, you can pay the maximum, minimum, or anything in between on your monthly bill. We're flexible.
For centuries, German brewmasters have been locking the secret of great tasting beer in this bottle. Beck's, the #1 imported German beer.
Hello, everyone. Welcome back to our studio in New York. Greg Gumbel along with Terry Bradshaw. The game that you've been watching, and now at halftime, it's the Giants trailing the Minnesota Vikings by a score of 12-10, and it was the Vikings who hit the scoreboard first with Chris Dolman recording his 10th sack of the season. Watch him beat Jumbo Elliott here and nail Sims in the end zone for the safety. It was a 2-0 lead at that point. It was 5-3 Vikings when the Vikes came up with a big defensive play.
It was a great defensive play, kind of reminiscent of Monday night when the Giants went for it on 4th and 9, didn't make it there, didn't make it here. Eventually you say, when are we going to make it?
Alfred Anderson with a 1-yard touchdown run to extend the Vikings lead to 12-3, but then Otis Anderson came back with the 1-yard TD there, and it is a 12-10 Vikings lead over the New York Giants. Meanwhile, at Riverfront Stadium in Cincinnati, they are underway in the second half. The Bengals and the San Francisco 49ers are tied at 7 apiece. Boomer Esiason got the Bengals up first.
I'll tell you, really, one of the best ways I think if you're going to beat the 49ers, you got to have a quarterback that has the ability to move. Esiason, not that fast, but very quick on his feet, gets outside of penetration and containment and scored.
Tom Rathman got the only touchdown of the day so far for the 49ers with a 1-yard plunge. Number 44 sets it down kindly in the end zone. It's a 7-7 tie right now as they start the second half. Houston all over the Cleveland Browns today at the Astrodome, 38-7. Lorenzo White, 3 touchdowns today. Warren Moon is thrown for 1. Eric Metcalf, a 101-yard kickoff return for the Browns. Pittsburgh is leading New England 10-3. They have just gotten underway in the third quarter at Three Rivers Stadium. Halftime in Indianapolis, Buffalo by 3 touchdowns over the Colts. Jim Kelly has thrown 2 TD passes. Bruce Smith has 4 sacks so far for the Bills. Seattle is leading Green Bay. This game being played in Milwaukee, 17-0 as they approach halftime there. And Anthony Dilweg just 5 of 15 for 59 yards for the Packers. And the Falcons and the Phoenix Cardinals are tied at 10 at halftime. Now, a reminder, this is an NFL doubleheader day here on CBS. Coming up at 4 Eastern time, some of you will see the Saints against the Rams in Anaheim. Most of you will see the NFC Central champ Chicago Bears take on the Washington Redskins, who are entertaining playoff hopes of their own. Pat Summerall and John Madden are at RFK to set the stage.
RFK Stadium in Washington. And this place will be rocking about an hour from now as the Bears come to town. The Redskins need a victory to keep their playoff hopes alive. The Bears, what about them? They've already clinched the NFC Central. But they need a victory to keep their home field advantage in the playoffs and also that week off once the playoffs start. But people are starting to crowd the Bears a little bit. For an explanation of what crowd means, here's the Bears' Dan Hampton.
I would like to see the passing game and offense maybe show they can beat that 8- and 9-man front. If we can show that we can do that, make those safeties get off the line, that would be great. But as it is, everybody's just lined up, you know, they turned the kennel loose and lined them all up on the line of scrimmage, and just everybody's beating the hell out of us.
So here's what Dan Hampton's talking about, and I think if the Bears are going to be a championship team, they have to defeat this. See, right here, you have 6 blockers there plus 1 back, so that gives you 7 blockers. Now, the Redskins use a normal 4-3 defense, so that's 7. So if you have 7 and they have 7, you can handle that. When they bring this strong safety up, Alvin Walton, and they put him up here on or near the line of scrimmage, that is daring you to pass, but that gives them 8 against your 7. Now you say, okay, if that's what they're going to do, the Bears will go 2 tight ends. So that gives them an extra blocker. That gives them 8 on their side. Again, the Redskins, boom, they come up with their 8th guy, plus they bring the weak safety up, and this is what Dan Hampton said, 9 on the line of scrimmage. And when you get 8 and 9 on the line of scrimmage, if you're going to be a championship team, you have to pass. You have to get these guys back off, loosen them up, then you can be able to get the run and pass. Greg, if you understand that, that's great. Back to you.
I'm not sure I do, John. Of course, I want to remind you that those of you in the New York area, due to NFL restrictions, will not be seeing that game. The NFL Today continues here on CBS after this word from your local station.
Ever had the gang over for dinner?
Hello?
And wish you hadn't?
What's the cat food doing out here?
It's Corky's Holiday Party from Hell on Emmy-winning Murphy Brown Monday.
This is the Ghost, Central City.
I'm Joe Montana. A few months ago, I challenged any Diet Coke celebrity to come on TV and take a blind taste test against Diet Pepsi. But no one had the courage to show up, so I'm going to take the test myself. Okay, next. Okay, who's the wise guy?
I don't know, but I got the right one, baby.
Diet Pepsi with 100% NutraSweet.
A roll of Konica film, please.
Konica?
Konica. Blue box?
Carl, do we carry Konica?
Konica?
Konica.
Konica, right?
Yes, Konica. From portrait to scenery to action, new Konica Super SR has the right film for the right shot.
Oh, Konica.
Anything else?
New Konica Super SR color print film. Never heard of it? Now you have.
High performance doesn't just happen. It takes an exceptional gasoline.
Stop at the green.
Hess detergent gasolines. An advanced detergent formula.
Stop.
With the power to clean fuel injectors, the power to protect precision valves. Performance tested, proven exceptional. Hess detergent gasolines.
Stop at the green.
Hess, power to perform.
The wacky world of public access TV on Entertainment Tonight.
Halftime at Giants Stadium, East Rutherford, New Jersey. Minnesota leads it by a 12-10 count. Third quarter coming up right after this message.
Panasonic presents a new breed of smooth operator. The new Smooth Operator rechargeable razor unites the old-fashioned closeness of a warm, wet shave with the convenience and no-nick comfort of an electric. Don't try this with any plugged-in razor. Smooth Operator wet-dry razors from Panasonic. Smoother than you ever thought you'd be.
In Killarney, legend says take a deep breath after it rains and that fresh, clean feeling will last the rest of your journey. There's a bit of this in every bar of Irish Spring. Ah, the lost and fresh scent of Irish Spring. The Irish never quit.
When you have these, why would you need a Black & Decker Power Ratchet? Because it's faster, easier, and works in lots of places manual wrenches can't. The Black & Decker Power Ratchet. It's really turning a lot of heads.
If you want to do more than one thing at the same time, don't expect an ordinary computer to get the jobs done. But an IBM PS2 with microchannel can crunch numbers, search files, share information, revise graphics all at once. With microchannel, a PS2 can work harder than ordinary computers, so you can get many things done at the same time without going to pieces. To be more productive, how you going to do it? PS2 it.
Tuesday, an entertainment spectacular honoring 5-time Grammy Award-winning superstar Billy Joel, the Man in Black, Johnny Cash, the Queen of Soul, Aretha Franklin, and recording giant Quincy Jones. It's a star-studded 2-hour musical celebration. The second annual Grammy Legend Show, Tuesday at 9.
He's a loving husband, a devoted father,
my man,
trying to get his family together.
Drop your grandmama to the hood.
It's the premiere of You Take the Kids, Saturday.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by Toyota's quality line of cars and trucks. Toyota, I love what you do for me. Visa, accepted at nearly 7 million places worldwide. It's everywhere you want to be. And by Budweiser, the king of beers. Remember, know when to say when.
12-10, Minnesota leads it as we get ready for the start of the second half. The difference in the ball game right now, a sack by Chris Dolman on Phil Simms in the end zone. The first 2 points scored in the game. Don't want to overemphasize the illness of Bill Parcells, but it is a concern with kidney stones. We talked with George Young at halftime, and he said he thinks Parcells will be able to finish the game.
But just in case, if Parcells can't make it, he will turn the reins over to Ron Earhart up in the booth here. And Ron has that experience having coached the New England Patriots. He will make all those critical decisions, probably some of the ones that Parcells doesn't want to have to make himself.
Now the Giants are going to receive the ball to open the third quarter. Any tactics that you think they might want to change from the first half to the second?
I think the key is going to be the play of Phil Simms right now. Parcells told us yesterday that Simms has to start playing better football. He's had 2 off games in the 2 losses to the Eagles and to the 49ers. So it's going to be up to Phil Simms. And remember, on their touchdown drive, it was his pass to Stephen Baker that gave the Giants the impetus.
Let's check the stats at halftime. Here's the way it stacks up statistically. Rushing yards, the Vikings on the edge there. Herschel Walker leads the way with 46. Time of possession in favor of Minnesota. And the yards per play, a 1/10 of a yard advantage for the Vikings. Here's Fuad Reves with a kickoff. I said the Giants would get the ball. I misspoke. It's Minnesota who will open the second half with the ball. So I thought everything we just said.
Well, that was a nice job of Barr kicking away from Herschel Walker, who's leading the league in kickoff returns.
And Renee Thompson, outstanding special teams player, down to make the tackle. Now Walker, 9 carries, 46 yards. He has not had a 100-yard game this season.
But he is still a threat, and he is foremost in the thinking of the defensive coaches for the Giants.
Wind at their backs. 1st and 10. Rich Gannon 8 of 14 in the first half. Wants to throw on first down. He'll tuck it and run. And this time goes head first down at the 30-yard line. Gannon, who grew up in the Philadelphia area, asked him last night if his family was going to be here to watch the game. He said, no, they're staying home. The seats they give the visiting teams here aren't that great.
And all the fans that sit around the visiting team seats know that they're there, that these are the people that the players give tickets to, and they aren't treated very, very well. That's putting it mildly.
2nd down and 2. Walker. Second surge might have gotten him the first down. It'll be close as Pepper Johnson makes the tackle.
And you're watching Herschel run. You can see how he could be a good bobsledder because he uses his legs in very choppy, quick steps, and he seems to be able to move large masses of things quickly.
Move the sled, jump on, and hang on. 1st and 10, Minnesota.
That always sounds like a good idea to me. Right? That's just, I'd rather be on the luge all by myself, you know. Not the all-time top 10 smart sporting events.
I'd pay to watch you on the luge. Gannon, Jordan leans out over Mark Collins and might have picked up another first down. Well, Rich Gannon said Steve Jordan's got to have a big game, and they have concentrated the passing game on the tight end and the backs. Only 1 wide receiver has caught a pass. That's Carter with 1 catch.
And they also have been mixing their play selection up very well, running and passing on first down. That time they came with a play action pass, and Gannon had the most amount of time that he's had all day to find a receiver. In fact, Jordan was part of the blocking scheme as that play began, and he released out as a safety valve, and Gannon had enough time, around 4 or 5 seconds, to find his tight end.
Saw Jerry Burns looking on. Under so much criticism during this 1-5, 1-6 start in the first half of the season, that criticism has waned somewhat in the last 5 weeks. 1st and 10, Minnesota from the 43. They lead it by 2, 12-10. Walker bursts into the secondary, and Greg Jackson makes the tackle, but that's a 12-yard gain. This is a Giant team that has been giving up an average of only 86 yards per game on the ground.
And you hear it over and over. Just give Herschel the ball heading north and south, and he's going to do things for you and do them well. He got through just a tiny crack in that defensive wall of the Giants and picked up another first down.
61 yards on 11 carries for that man. 1st and 10 at the 45. Again, the Vikings will throw on first down. They're going deep for Anthony Carter. It's way overthrown. Double coverage on Carter from Everson Walls and Myron Guyton.
Talked about that double coverage, Vern, and it is Walls short, and he gets help from Myron Guyton over the top. This is a good decision by Gannon to just let this one sail, because Guyton was not fooled at all by the play-action pass, and he saves his team an interception there by throwing that one away.
Gannon came into this game with 84 completed passes, 84 passes without an interception. That string is an even 100 now. Catch is made. Lateral from Chris Carter to Steve Jordan. How about the heads-up play by Chris Carter? Or the risk taken by Chris Carter?
Well, and they didn't call him the grasp on him either. You know, he makes an outstanding catch with his hands. Watch as Gannon throws his best pass of the day here. Close coverage on Chris Carter by Everson Walls. But now the decision to pitch it out to his tight end, and Jordan picks up some extra yardage.
At the 25-yard line. The total yards on the play, 25. Herschel Walker, he can throw it. No. Looked for a moment like he wanted to, but why? He ran down the sidelines.
Well, that was an option play for Herschel. He could have thrown the ball. He had Alfred Anderson on a corner pattern, and he hesitates just enough, but I think that the Giants in pursuit saw that he wanted to throw it right about here. They hesitated a little bit. Walker restarts his engines and gets close to the first down.
Talked about that Giants defense against the rush, an average of 86 yards per game. Today, 120 on the ground for the Minnesota Vikings.
Well, remember back at the beginning of the year, people thought that the Vikings would be in the playoff hunt.
1st and 10 at the 15. 12-10, Minnesota leads it. Alfred Anderson tests the right guard spot. Carl Banks comes over to make the tackle. Tom Reeder on the sidelines, back up tackle.
Let's go! Kind of a half-hearted let's go there. Come on, Tom, put a little more into that.
Injured Viking is down. That's Tim Irwin, right tackle. And the medical staff comes out to tend to him. 12-10 Minnesota. They will try and take care of Tim Irwin. Time has been called with 10:51 to go in the third quarter.
Everything's changing. Wasting is out. Saving, conserving, all that stuff's in. Ecology, definitely in. Make the most of what you've got, and you'll be surprised at what you get. We are going to save the world. But until then, I'll settle for saving a little money. It's simple. New values, new car.
Introducing the all-new Toyota Tercel at a great price, $64.88. The one new value you can drive.
Things that you can depend on, things that you can believe in.
Bud Bowl Update has learned that Bud Bowl 3 will feature something brand new this year, the helmet cam. Budweiser's Billy Bud and Bobby Bud will be wearing the helmet cams to give you a beer's eye view of all the action. Plans for future Bud Bowls include goalpost cam, football cam, x-ray cam, overhead cam, and cam. Helmet cam. For Bud Bowl Update, I'm Chris Berman.
This Christmas, make Radio Shack your telephone store with our great selection of quality phones, unique phones for every home, and sophisticated phones for business. Look at these stylish designer phones or cordless phones to go with you anywhere. Special feature phones for special needs, plus answering machines for everyone and every accessory you need. That's why we're America's telephone company.
Radio Shack, America's technology store. Nobody compares for Christmas shopping.
When Hollywood comes to Evening Shade, look who's lining up to become the next big movie star.
Not you. Will you get back?
Get ready to meet Hollywood Newton on an all-new Evening Shade Monday.
Offensive tackle Tim Irwin in some agony on the bench, but he did walk off by himself. Tim, who passed the bar exam in Tennessee. You talk about players who prepare for post-football careers. On the Giants side is Bart Oates, who just passed the bar exam in New Jersey. So you've got a couple of guys who are going to be practicing law when they finish in the NFL. Here's 1st and 10. Walker. Down near the 10-yard line, Eric Howard makes the tackle.
They were working on Tim Irwin's neck, and so many times an offensive lineman will have his head jammed back down into his shoulders, and they get those little compression injuries in the spinal cord there in the neck. That's why you see so many of them wearing those neck rolls, but it looks like he's got a built-in neck roll of his own.
Brian Habib, number 74, has taken his spot. 2nd down and 7 at the 9 officially. Gannon back. Here comes Taylor across the middle. Caught. Then fumbled. Now intercepted. Dropped. What is it? Giants ball is the indication. Jordan made the catch and was popped.
It was Pepper Johnson that popped him. Jordan had his back turned to him, and that's a big turnover for New York. Just as it appeared the Vikings were going to take it in on a long, impressive drive to start this 2nd half, Pepper Johnson comes with a big play. Jordan is 83 on a crossing route. There's the throw to him. He turns his back and gets drilled by Pepper. The ball comes loose, and it's the beach ball with the football. No, it's not. It gets away from him, and it's Myron Guyton with the recovery.
Giants hurry up. They want to get a play call before replay gets involved. So it's a completed pass, a fumble, and a handoff now to Rodney Hampton, who nudges it out across the 5 to the 7. That will go as a completed pass and a fumble. The recovery made by Steve Diossi.
That's a heads-up play by Sims, hurrying his team and getting a ball snapped, because this is one play that the referees did not get a chance to look at, but it appears that it is a good call. He did have possession, and the big hit by Pepper Johnson popped the ball loose.
Replay a moot point now. Pepper Johnson made the hit on Jordan. 2nd down. The lead is 8. The handoff, Hampton comes outside. Deuce Bobick with a big play. Number 59, Mark Deuce Bobick.
Well, we talked about this game being a defensive battle, and it has been every bit of that. We're seeing outstanding plays on both sides of the line of scrimmage and both sidelines by defensive players. Deuce Bobick just made a play every bit as good and as important as Pepper Johnson's there, because Hampton has a chance to turn this one into a big gain if he can get by the linebacker and put a move on Joey Browner.
Phil Simms has been sacked just one time. That was for the safety. Now it's 3rd and 7, and Simms will operate out of the shotgun. 4-man rush. Simms lets it go incomplete. The intended receiver was Dave Meggett at the 11.
And that's the situation that Parcells was worried about, is his offense having to operate against the Vikings nickel defense. Right now, the defensive backs of the Vikings are controlling this ball game.
And Phil Simms is now 1 of 6 out of the shotgun formation.
And all those have been against the nickel defense.
Which goes back to Parcells saying to us he feared the Viking nickel defense as much as anything in this game. Here's Landetta. That's returnable. Leo Lewis on the line drive punt by Sean Landetta. And Landetta's going to hear the Boo Birds again. A 31-yard punt, 10 on the return. Well, they yelled when he got a 67-yarder in the first half. The cheers turned to taunts in the 3rd quarter.
Amore baciami, 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 e forte stringimi, stringimi, stringimi. Mi piace stare racchiusa in te nel tuo tepore.
Soldier Field, Chicago. Over 300 dead batteries and 1 die-hard battery. Our most powerful ever jump-starts every one. Die-hard. More power when you need it most.
To make wrenching fast and easy, you can either do this or get this. The Skill Wrench Cordless Power Wrench. It's revolutionary.
In peace, I betrayed my wife.
In war,
I betrayed myself.
with trust,
I killed men,
with vengeance,
and I ordered men to be killed.
right or wrong, one man controls this empire.
It was not what I wanted!
On Christmas Day, The Godfather pulls you back into his power. The Godfather, Part 3.
In Division I AA, it's settled on the field. Georgia Southern tries to repeat as national champion. The Division I AA Football Championship next Saturday.
Well, we have now reached that point in the season when the games each Sunday become so meaningful, and there's a big one coming up next. Most of you around the country will see Chicago and Washington. That's except those of you in the New York area. Others will watch New Orleans and the Rams. The Bears and the Redskins next on CBS. Rick Fenny is in the lineup now, the fullback, after sitting out the last 3 weeks. Gannon in some trouble, goes deep in the end zone, incomplete. Chris Carter, the intended receiver.
I really like that decision by Gannon to throw that ball down to Carter, although he was covered by Greg Jackson. That type of thinking, giving your receiver a chance to make a play on the ball, is very important to Tom Moore, the offensive coordinator of the Vikings. In fact, he used to work for the Pittsburgh Steelers when a guy by the name of Terry Bradshaw convinced him that it's okay to throw to a covered receiver if you have confidence in him. He said that Bradshaw would throw it to Lynn Swann no matter who was guarding him, and that taught Moore that that's okay to do.
2nd down and 10. The toss to Herschel Walker. Little stutter step at the line, and he's down inside the 24-yard line. Right now, let's go back to our studios across the Hudson. Here's Greg Gumbel.
All right, Vern, at Riverfront in Cincinnati, the 49ers have their second rushing touchdown of the day. Harry Sidney from 3 yards out, and with the extra point, the Niners lead the Bengals now 14-10. Third quarter. Back to you, Vern and Dan.
Thank you, Greg. It's 12-10 here. Score at halftime hasn't changed. 7:40 to go. 3rd and 6. Gannon will operate from under his center, Kirk Loudermilk. Darts away from the pressure from Leonard Marshall and finds Rick Fenny short of the first down. Tackle made by Greg Jackson. They need a yard. What will they do? Rick Fenny, who was out with a strained knee ligament in his right knee for the last 3 weeks. And they will send the field goal unit on 4th down. Actually, there's more needed than just a yard. It's like 4th and a yard and a half.
Easy decision for Bernsey to make there. He might have been tempted if it was just a half a yard or less, but this is what they call the old long 1 yard.
37 yards for Fuad Reveiz, who has missed only once since joining the Vikings. That one is good. So Reveiz is 2 of 2 today. And the lead is back to 5 with 7:09 to go, 3rd quarter.
Turn back the clock to when the world was a gentler place, and you'll find yourself in Philadelphia at Strawbridge & Clothier, a department store founded in 1868 by 2 gentlemen who believed in the unique principle that you never say no to a customer. So if you go, expect to be pampered, and bring your Visa card. Because at Strawbridge & Clothier, they still don't take their customers for granted, and they don't take American Express. Visa, it's everywhere you want to be.
Training.
style. Now hit the shower.
I love what you do for me, Toyota.
How to build a Christmas fire. 1, roll up your sleeves. 2, get down on your knees. 3, use a little paper. 4, strike the perfect match. 5, step back and feel the heat. Nothing burns brighter with love at Christmas than the fire of a diamond.
It's hilarious. It's heartwarming. It's in color.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
It's an I Love Lucy Christmas for the first time in color, Monday at 8:30.
Beautiful December afternoon in the Northeast. Giants Stadium in East Rutherford. Vern Lundquist and Dan Fouts. 7:09 to go third quarter. Minnesota after the field goal from Fuad Reveiz, a 15-10 lead, and Herschel Walker with an ice pack wrapped around his wrist, prowling the sidelines. Kickoff taken by Hampton at the 2. Rodney Hampton back to the 15 and out to the 24-yard line before the tackle is made. Well, let's bring you up to date as to how we got to 15-10. The opening score, a safety. Chris Dolman tackled Sims in the end zone. Reveiz then tacked on a field goal from 22. Matt Barr countered for the Giants in the first quarter. First touchdown scored by Alfred Anderson of the Vikings to make it 12-3. Otis Anderson countered for New York. That's where we were at the half, 12-10. And Fuad Reveiz just kicked a field goal of 37 yards following a short Sean Landetta punt. Now 1st and 10. New York. Sims play fake. Overthrown. Flag is down. Ball is picked off. Darrell Fullington has it, but there is a flag. So hold everything.
I think they're going to get Carl Lee for illegal contact past that 5-yard zone.
And if so, that will negate the interception.
Yeah, illegal contact against Lee, and that is really a big play. He can't believe it. Watch it as Ingram will go past the 5-yard mark. You can't hit him now. He gets both hands on him. That's illegal. Here's the play, though, at the end of it.
Number 39 before the...
Kill the mic quickly.
Well, the players are saying that the ball was tipped, but the ball was tipped, but it was after the illegal contact. Another athletic play by Carl Lee as he knocks the ball over to his buddy Fullington, but that is after the penalty flag has already left the referee's pocket.
Phil Sims has only thrown 4 interceptions this year, and that one should be negated. They are checking it, and we'll hear from Jim Tunney.
Although the pass was tipped, there was illegal contact before the pass was thrown. Number 39 defense. It's 5 yards and a first down.
Sounds like Tunney's got an earpiece in listening to you.
Well, he had to listen to me enough on Sundays when I was playing. Jim's one of those guys you always knew you could talk to and get a civil conversation back.
1st and 10. Backs in the eye. The interception wiped out. Sims left side. Caught by Bavaro. Chased by Dusbovic. First down, New York at the 44. And isn't it fascinating how many times a big play that is negated, all of a sudden the team that is the recipient of the good news gets things pumped up.
And isn't it about time they found a way of getting the ball to this guy, Bavaro? And he's a guy that always makes big plays for the Giants. Nice catch with his big hands, and then he gets up forward for the first down. And Sims will take a ride down to his wallet, courtesy of Henry Thomas.
Pretty big wallet.
Yeah. He's got a whole purse.
14 yards on that play. Sims avoids the sack and picks up a yard. Rough crowd here.
Oh, it is a rough crowd. And I talked to Ron Earhart about that and how they treat Phil Sims. And it's a shame because he's an outstanding player and a super guy. Earhart says that Sims just can never do enough to satisfy these fans. And the only way they'll be satisfied is in a couple of years when Phil is probably standing next to you in the broadcast booth doing ball games. They'll say, boy, that quarterback that's playing out there is pretty good, but he's no Phil Sims.
Giants have had problems scoring in the third quarter in the last 7 games. 1 touchdown. They've got a 2nd down and 9 right now. Sims back to throw. Has to scramble again. Chased by Dusbabic, goes down at the 49. Well, I count myself fortunate to have known Phil Sims for 11 years. And I think he is as courageous as any quarterback who's played in the last decade. He really has taken some shots.
And this is what he's looking at, trying to find his receiver down the field. This is going to be Mark Ingram working against Carl Lee. Ingram, number 82, against Lee, 39 here. He's going to turn Lee every which way but loose, but Lee is still fighting, staying with them. And that forces Sims to bring it down and get forward by himself.
3rd and 5 out of the shotgun. They have not had success in this formation. They might here. Rodney Hampton drops the ball. The pass was thrown a little behind him. There is a flag in the offensive backfield.
Going to get holding against the Giant offensive line, but the wind really played tricks with this ball. Phil Sims is a terribly accurate passer.
Number 66, offense. Penalty is declined. It'll be 4th down.
But remember, we talked about the wind, and in this direction, the wind is right in the quarterback's face, and the ball appeared to change directions on Hampton and made an easy catch difficult.
Phil Sims has had 7 incomplete passes today, and 6 of them have come out of the shotgun. Now Sean Landetta, who has been an adventure back there punting today. Feast and famine. This is Feast. That's a dandy. Leo Lewis at the 5. Troy Kiles made the tackle. A net on the punt of 41 yards. 46-yard punt. 5 on the return. It's 15-10 in the 3rd quarter.
Miami battles Texas. The Mobile Cotton Bowl Classic, New Year's Day.
Holiday greetings from Budweiser. The people who bring you Budweiser wish you and yours the very best of everything this holiday season.
It started with a hand, because shape and feel are as significant as lens and shutter. Introducing the Infinity Super Zoom 330 from Olympus, where great pictures and great design go hand in hand.
Some people think it's a great idea for you to buy a second-rate antifreeze. Not all antifreeze is the same. Nothing beats Presto. And that's something you might appreciate down the road.
Toyota presents the Fairy Godmother?
Hey, it's a living. Now here's the deal. You buy one of these. Toyota, it's one great truck and that's no fairy tale. Then magic. I'm talking options. Power steering, fancy radio, cloth seats, chrome bumpers, tinted glass, the works. You can save hundreds on the truck you've always wanted. I've even got factory-to-dealer incentives. But you gotta buy before midnight or I'll turn you into a pumpkin.
I love what you do for me, Toyota.
We talked about the effects of the wind. Watch at the last about 10 yards of this ball in the air, the ball will break severely to the right. Sims is trying to get the ball out in front of Hampton. Hampton has Merriweather beat. It's going to be a touchdown, but the ball just spins right into that wind and right into the chest of Rodney Hampton.
Flags fluttering above Giant Stadium. 4th time this game that the Vikings have started inside their own 20-yard line. Herschel Walker on the sweep to the right, and he is knocked down after no gain.
This is the area of the field where Rich Gannon is going to feel the presence of these 77,000 Giant fans. During the commercial, they were on their feet yelling, "Defense, defense."
Well, with Gannon as with Jim Harbaugh, the Chicago Bears, a fairly conservative game plan. Minimize the mistakes, emphasize the ground game, and the Vikings have done it to perfection. thus far today. Second down and 9 now, however.
Yeah, they're really going to be tested the next 2 plays, backed up like this.
Play fake. A double pump. Carter deep. Can't make the catch. Everson Walls was back there defending. Well, let's see what's happening elsewhere around the National Football League this Sunday afternoon. Once again, here's Greg.
All right, Vern, at Riverfront Stadium early in the 4th quarter, the Bengals bounce right back against the 49ers. Cue the shuffle. Ickey Woods from a yard out, and with the extra point, it's the Bengals 17, San Francisco 14. Back to Vern and Dan.
All right, Greg, 15-10 here. 3rd and 9, Minnesota. From their own 11-yard line. They lead it by 5. 2 wide receivers wide to the left. Jordan starts in motion. On the crossing pattern, Gannon with a lot of time. Behind and almost picked off. Whoa, boy. Myron Guyton had both hands on it.
Well, Gannon really almost made a huge mistake there. He did make a mistake in cutting this ball loose so late. He has Jordan coming from the right side of the screen open right about now, and watch how long it takes him to throw the ball to him. And now he throws it behind him, and boy, that is almost an interception for Myron Guyton. I think what he's thinking right here is that he wishes that Jordan would have stopped and found a hole and just turned to him and made an easier target.
Newsom had one blocked last week. The return is on all the way, and Meggett can really return them. But he doesn't this time. That's excellent downfield pursuit led by Ray Berry, number 50. A 50-yard punt, 8 on the return. Coming up next week, the last word before kickoff next Sunday at 12:30 Eastern Time, the NFL today. And the lineup, Minnesota will be at Tampa Bay, Phoenix at Dallas, Atlanta at Cleveland, and a late start for Green Bay at Philadelphia. That's next week. And also, don't forget, more coming up this afternoon. Most of you will see Chicago at Washington, except those of you in the New York area. Others will watch New Orleans and Los Angeles. From the 46, Hampton to the 49-yard line. And Rodney Hampton, having his biggest day of the year, replaced Otis Anderson, who had 7 carries for only 9 yards in the first half.
Maybe changing of the guard here in New York. Otis is just 5 yards shy of going over the 10,000-yard mark. In fact, he's in the game right now. But he is probably in the game now more for pass protection purposes than for running the ball.
That was the problem that Hampton had, picking up the blitz, though Minnesota not expected to blitz that much. They don't this time. Sends it back. Drills it. Caught by Ingram. In front of Carl Lee. First down New York at the 39.
That's a great play by Browner. Did you see how he wrestled with Ingram, threw him to the ground, but held his hand? So it looked like he was trying to hold him up. I think Ronnie Lott must have taught him that. Maybe they majored in that at USC, where you hit the heck out of the guy and then you rush to help him up so it doesn't look like it was anything illegal. Watch the end of this play, as about 3 Vikings will wrestle with Ingram, and Browner gets the last word in here. He pulls him loose from the pack, but he hangs on with one hand.
Gain of 13, first down at the 39. Hampton back in the lineup. Browner makes secondary contact after Ken Clark makes the stop. Ken Clark, who was waived by the Minnesota Vikings in the preseason cutdown, went back to New Jersey. Thought his career had come to an end after 13 years, but then with Keith Millard's injury, they brought Clark back, and he said yesterday he's playing as well as he has in the last 3 or 4 years.
He never thought that he was through as a football player, and I don't think any player that ever retires or gets waived or whatever thinks they can't play at least one more game. Clark has come back and played a very important role for the Vikings.
2nd and 7. Giants trail by 5. Sims right side, picked off. Oh no! Joey Browner had his 7th interception in his hands.
He has a heck of a streak going with interceptions, 5 in the last 5 games. And this ball right at the end, again, remember, Sims is throwing into the wind here, and watch how at the end of it, it'll lose its spiral and kind of flutter there. But Joey Browner should never drop that one. He might have been concerned with how close he was to the sidelines and whether he had to get his feet down, but he flat drops that one.
That brings up a 3rd down. 4 wide receivers. The need is 7. Sims flushed out by Noga. Comes right, chased by Dolman, and is caught short of the 1st down at the 34. Lawrence Taylor disappointed with the effort, or the result, not the effort.
Well, since Dolman got that sack for the safety, the Vikings haven't been able to get to Sims. He's moved around a couple of times, as he does on this play. Watch Dolman, and Noga gets sucked in. Sims goes around him, but he can't outrun Chris Dolman.
They are outside of Matt Barr's field goal range. Barr has not even attempted one of more than 50, and he would be kicking into the wind. So Sean Landeta has come back on. Final 30 seconds of quarter number 3. They might let the quarter expire if they have the time.
Well, and did you watch Landeta's eyes? He's looking over at the sidelines to his special teams coach, wondering how you want me to kick this one. And he looked with his eyes to the left. Watch for him to try to put this one out of bounds on the far side of the field.
Now the clock is stopped for some reason, and the play clock shows 25 seconds. They did take a delay.
Still 4th down.
And the delay was declined, the 5-yard penalty. So there's the play clock at 25 seconds again, and they will have to kick into the wind. Lewis waits at the 10-yard line. Landeta will go to the left side. No, touchback. Ever so close. And the Vikings will get it back following the touchback at the 20-yard line. Time for one more snap of the football in the 3rd quarter. So the Giants' scoring woes in 3rd quarters of games this year continues. 1 touchdown in the last 7. Now 8. Rich Gannon on for the final play of the 3rd quarter. Kirk Loudermilk up and over the ball. They slip it to Finney up the middle. He's out to the 24-yard line, a gain of 4. Mike Pope and Phil Sims chat on the sidelines. That's the end of the 3rd quarter with our score 15-10 Minnesota. Our coverage will continue after this message from your local station. You're watching the NFL on CBS.
This is CBS.
Most videos shot with today's small camcorders come out looking shaky like this. Okay. But now, with a push of a button, they come out steady like this. Panasonic introduces the Palmcorder, the compact camcorder with the digital image stabilizer.
Believe this, Brian, you're lifting it.
It's small and lightweight, so it fits in the palm of your hand. Yet the Palmcorder uses videotapes that can play in any VHS recorder.
Brian.
The Palmcorder from Panasonic, just slightly ahead of our time.
My name is Ona Fowler. I was born in the year 1906. I live here alone, and this is where I hope to stay. It's my home. Thank you very much.
In the supermarket business, information has to be as fresh as the produce. So when King Cullen went shopping for an information system, New York Telephone connected them with a digital data network. It keeps them instantly up on inventory and distribution in all 49 stores. The New York Telephone system makes King Cullen so efficient, it puts new meaning into the word supermarket.
We're all connected, New York Telephone.
The wacky world of public access TV on Entertainment Tonight.
We begin the final quarter from Giant Stadium with the Minnesota Vikings leading the Giants 15-10. Bill Parcells' bunch still unable to score in the second half. They've been blanked in the last 3 games. And now Minnesota with a 2nd down and 6. 15 to 10. Play fake. Gannon across the middle behind Jordan. Picked off by Greg Jackson. Jackson circling to the right side. Chased by Novoselsky. And that ends a streak of 106 consecutive passes that Rich Gannon had thrown without an interception.
Boy, and at the worst possible time here. Your offense is controlling the ball throughout this second half. The first play of the 4th quarter, Gannon forcing one behind his tight end into the arms of Jackson, and the Giants will take over inside the 35-yard line.
And for Greg Jackson, the 5th interception of the season. Now the big break. That's the 2nd turnover for Minnesota. First down at the 33-yard line. Handoff, Rodney Hampton hit once, knocked down after a gain of 3. Well, 2 turnovers now. Greg Jackson gets his 5th interception. During this 5-game win streak, Jerry Burns' team has been plus 14 in turnovers. They're down 2 today.
And turnovers is the most important stat as it relates to winning and losing. I mean, you win 5 in a row, you're going to be turning the ball over.
2nd down. But on the other side of the coin, the Giants have shown an inability to score in the second half recently. Sims back. Left side. Caught at the 17. Or was it trapped? It was trapped.
Boy, this is a real late call by the officials. Watch the attempt here by Stephen Baker. And the head linesman, number 15, is Bama Glass. That ball does hit the ground, but he doesn't make the call until about 3 or 4 seconds after the fact. But it was the correct call. And that brings up another situation where Sims will be facing the Viking nickel defense.
Giants are 2 of 9 on 3rd down conversions. Sims deep right side, tipped, almost picked off. Incomplete pass, 4th down.
And again, it's Andre McMillan that makes the play. Michael Brim is upset. He thought he got the tip. In fact, he's looking for the replay on the board up there. But this Viking defense, defensive backs have just been outstanding through this 5-game winning streak. Watch McMillan, number 26, get the deflection. And now Brim lays out, but that ball clearly bounced on about the 12-yard line. Another good call by the officials.
Matt Barr will try a 48-yard field goal. Trouble with the snap. But the kick is good. Matt Barr from 48 yards. The margin has been shaved to 2 points.
Once again, BMW takes the luxury sedan where it's never been before. The 750iL with ASC plus T, automatic stability control plus traction. Every second, computers monitor wheel slippage and apply up to 100 engine and brake adjustments, helping keep the driver in control, proving the difference between an ordinary sedan and the ultimate driving machine.
Come on, mates. I've got a surprise for you.
What's the surprise?
I'll show you.
Look, Bernard. It's us.
Just for the holidays at McDonald's, you can get Bernard. Or Miss Bianca. The famous heroes from Walt Disney Pictures' new animated feature, The Rescuers Down Under. Now in theaters everywhere. One ornament's free when you buy a $5 book of McDonald's gift certificates. Or $1.49 with any food purchase.
Very handsome, but I prefer the real one.
And winds northwest of 30 knots at 45. Though it's rain expected to continue till 10 p.m. 5 inches predicted in the 7th county area.
About 1,500 more there. 1,500 more. Yeah. We gotta shore up the left side. The left side of the man.
This game
summary is sponsored by Levi's 505, 506, and 540 jeans.
Difference in the game, the safety scored by Chris Dolman. That was the first scoring play of the game when Dolman sacked Phil Simms. It's 15-13 with 13:38 to go in the ball game. Here is Herschel Walker at the 3. And there is Herschel Walker at the 17.
And that's how you tackle Herschel Walker, around the ankles. Lewis Tillman with a big hit that time.
Well, go back to the conversation you had on the NFL Today, Dan. You talked about the nickel defense, the fact that the Minnesota Vikings defense had scored 4 touchdowns so far this year, and the difference in this ball game thus far, that 1 sack and the role played by the Viking defense. Now their offense is on the field. Rich Gannon trying to forget the interception that just led to the giant field goal. 15-13. Play fake. Gannon is sacked. Lawrence Taylor. And that is the first 2-sack game for Lawrence Taylor since the opening game of the season against the Philadelphia Eagles.
And he had 3 that day, and that was his first bit of work after the holdout. Number 56 coming from the left side this time, working against Brian Habib, and he stopped Habib cold and went right around him. Didn't even lay a glove on him. Saved the glove for the quarterback.
He might have to share that sack with Mike Fox, number 93, who also got there. Wait for the official report on that. Gannon changing the play. The crowd in an uproar. Walker with McDaniel in front, and Lawrence Taylor cuts through and knocks down Herschel Walker. 3rd down.
We talked about special athletes. Parcells talked about those 6 for the Vikings. Well, there's none more special than number 56 when you talk about defensive players in this league. Watch the play he makes coming all the way from the left side of the field. That's the LT of old. That's the speed. That's the big play from the big playmaker. You notice Herschel didn't bump him off as he has those little guys.
3rd and 10. Gannon wasn't ready for the snap. The flag is down. They may bring the play back. They will. Delay of game call. The play clock had expired.
No, they're going to get Brian Habib for jumping off sides. And you can give that penalty credit for that penalty.
3rd down. False start. Offense. The play was killed before the snap. False start. Still 3rd down.
And give credit to these 77,000. We saw Gannon having trouble getting the play called. He went to the silent count. And fortunately, he'll get another play here because the play was killed before the
number
snap.
74, offense. It is non-declinable. It's still 3rd down.
If it's non-declinables, it's still recyclable.
Lawrence Taylor limping after that last play. Third and 15. Gannon trying to fight the crowd.
Well, he's adding fire to the gasoline, or vice versa.
Whoops! Somebody didn't get the play.
He went with some type of audible, and Alfred Anderson didn't hear him, and he ran right by him. Gannon is real lucky he didn't fumble that play. There you see Anderson's expecting the ball to be handed off to somebody else. And Pepper's inciting a riot.
Pepper Johnson almost threw more blows than Mike Tyson did last night.
I know he landed more.
Talk about dropping with the wind. Newsom. Make it. Almost broke it. As it is, it's an 11-yard return, and the Giants have a first down at the 41-yard line with 11:23 to go.
is 119 miles from New York City. It only seems farther than that. People here live in the same houses their parents lived in, worship in churches where their grandparents worshipped, and work for the company their great-grandfathers built, the Stanley Works. So it's not surprising Stanley tools are made to last. It would only be surprising if they weren't.
It's been called the Devil's Roller Coaster. A course so brutal, it sends brake temperatures in excess of 700 degrees. Only here could BMW perfect the advanced anti-lock brakes of the 535i. The car Road and Track found to be the fastest stopping four-door sedan on Earth.
Just gotta do the work.
If you want to get here,
Work, work, work.
or here,
Just got to get out there and do it.
or here, you're gonna have to start somewhere. Nike! At Foot Locker, where it all begins.
CBS Sports coverage of the National Football League is sponsored by AT&T, the right choice. Norelco Lift and Cut Shavers for a new level of closeness and comfort. And by Stanley. Since 1843, Stanley has been helping people do things right.
11:23 remaining fourth quarter. The Vikings and the Giants. Minnesota leading 15-13. But the Giants with a 1st and 10 at the 42-yard line of Minnesota as Phil Simms brings them out of the huddle. Vern Lundquist and Dan Fouts from Giant Stadium. 1st and 10. Toss to Hampton, Carthen, and Cross lead the way, and Deuce Bobick and Ken Clark got over there quickly. 4 minutes remaining, and Cincinnati hangs on to a 3-point edge over the 49ers. Bill Parcells said yesterday he thinks some fascinating things are going to happen in the month of December. He said specifically he thought the Bears could lose as many as 3. He thought the Vikings might lose a couple. He thought that the Washington Redskins would come alive, and he thought his team might be in trouble.
And he also predicted that the 49ers aren't going to go undefeated the rest of the year.
2nd and 11. Simms short setup. Off the back, the catch made by Baker as Rutland lost his position. 1st down at the 27.
Yeah, I just love that decision of Simms to go ahead and throw the ball to his receiver. He has so much confidence in Stephen Baker. He knows that the ball's going to be caught when he throws it in the no man's land there over the middle. He got a little bit lucky there as Rutland hit the ground, but Baker comes up with a big catch. One of those things.
1st and 10. Giants have never led. They trail by 2. Hampton with Carthen. And the tackle made at the 25. Matt Barr has already hit a 48-yard field goal. Ray Berry made that tackle. By the way, officially now, Lawrence Taylor has been credited with half a sack on the tackle of Simms. He shares that sack with Mike Fox. So it is not a 2-sack game yet today for Lawrence Taylor. He's got 1.5.
And he has 10 tackles to go with those 1.5 sacks. So LT, he's back.
2nd down, 15-13, 9.5 remaining. Hampton out of the tackle. Downfield block from Baker. 1st down at the 14. As Dan said, it might be a coming out party for Rodney Hampton.
Well, he's going to step out of the tackle of number 39, Carl Lee, right about here. And Lee had him dead to right, but a nice job of keeping his knees going, and he gets forward down inside the 15-yard line.
Hampton with 72 yards on 16 carries, his most productive afternoon of the 1990 season. From the 14, 1st and 10. Hampton again. Boy, they're going to keep running it and keep running it. And he's down to the 11. Tackle made by Deuce Bobick. Clock shows 8:30.
And now you remember back to the first half when Parcells did not go for the field goal that would have given him a 1-point lead. As it stands, they trail by 2 now. And we're in that interesting area of the field where the Giants have had so much trouble scoring this year.
Lloyd Peters, the defensive coordinator of the Vikings, one thinks back to Jerry Burns saying again yesterday, I just hope it's not too late. A loss here might be a knockout punch for the Vikings' playoff aspirations. And a win today, and the Giants clinch the NFC East. They have a second down. Hampton again out of the tackle. Comes back to his left. Joey Browner was blitzing on the run and had him dead to rights behind the line, but missed him.
And Joey Browner is one of the very best tacklers in the game. He can't understand it. He's not used to seeing moves like this. Left side of the screen, Browner comes on the blitz there, and normally those strong hands of Joey Browner are enough to bring down a running back, but Hampton just runs right through the arm tackle.
Third down. The lead is 6. 15-13 to score. Minnesota on top. Into the flat, Ingram. First and goal, Giants at the 2.
Well, this is one of those plays that is just borderline against the Giants. Watch out, Bavaro will come down and pick. That's a man in motion, comes out into the flat here. Bavaro with a little screen out to the side there. The defensive linebacker, Dusbovic, is late coming out on the coverage, and you can thank number 89 for that play as the Giants now are at the 2-yard line.
First and goal. Touchdown!
Well, the Giants are playing like they want to be NFC champs today, and this may provide it for them. Again, Anderson leaning forward behind that offensive line. There's Howard Cross, the tight end, with the key block, and Anderson's in for his second touchdown of the day.
And his 10th of the season. Matt Barr with the extra point. And for the first time in a long, long afternoon, the New York Giants lead the Minnesota Vikings.
Working to be the best they can be. Teammates, sponsored by the U.S. Army. Bengals quarterback Boomer Esiason and wide receiver Eddie Brown are an explosive combination. Esiason became Cincinnati's starter in Brown's rookie season, and since 1985, they have been key elements in one of the most productive offenses in the league. Individually, Esiason to Brown means nearly 18 yards per completion and consistent playoff contention. Together as teammates, they make the Bengals the best they can be.
Most of my friends don't know what they're going to do after graduation, but I've already locked in guaranteed skill training in the Army. Qualify now and you can reserve even the Army's most sought-after technical training up to 12 months in advance through the Army's delayed entry program. Sure, being a soldier won't be easy, but then nothing worth having ever is.
Our bug business had never been better. So one day we just looked at each other and knew it was time to go public.
Go out and hurry and gives us an accurate picture of your capital needs.
When are we going to hear?
It takes time. Off to New York, guys.
Giants with a victory today can cinch the NFC Eastern Division Championship. They lead it by 5. 6.5 to go. And for the Minnesota Vikings, who have won 5 in a row, will this be the knockout punch if they lose? And Matt Barr kicks it deep. Herschel Walker at the 5. Renee Thompson makes the initial contact, and that slows Walker down. A return of 13. If the season ended today, the division champions would be the Niners, the Giants, and Chicago, the wild card teams, Philadelphia, Washington, and Green Bay. But so much can still happen. And one of those important games coming up next, Chicago at Washington, except for those of you in the New York area. Others will watch New Orleans at the Rams. 1st and 10. Minnesota. 2 turnovers have proven costly. Gannon back. He's been sacked 3 times. But he can also rumble with the ball, and he's out to the 30-yard line with a 1st down.
Boy, that looked like Fran targeted a lot, didn't it? He was in the pocket. He stepped forward, almost fell down, stuck his left hand out, regained his balance, and made about 12 yards. He looks like he's running his motor. It's trying almost as fast as I'm trying to run my mouth. He's fired up. He's a little bit scared back there, but he's got a lot of athletic ability. This is a real test for Rich Gannon, only in his 4th year.
6 minutes to go. 1st and 10. Short drop. Almost picked off. Everson Walls just about had his 50th career interception. The young man who was fired by the Dallas Cowboys, still a young man. You'll love me calling him that. He's 31 now. Buffalo continues to roll.
Well, he'll never get a better shot at an interception. The problem there is that he's looking at the receiver, and bang, at the last second, he looks up to locate where the ball was, and it hit him right in the pinkies.
2nd and 10. Anderson. No. Bounces to the outside where he runs into Myron Guyton. Still no. Buffalo Bills have defeated Indianapolis 31-7. Buffalo is here against the Giants next Saturday. And Buffalo has clinched a playoff spot with that win. Minnesota 1 of 8 on 3rd down conversions. They look at a 3rd and 10. Taylor is to the right side. Gary Reasons dances into the line. Now Taylor moves left. Got caught with the snap. Now he chases Gannon and knocks it loose. A patented Lawrence Taylor play. The ball was fumbled out of bounds, and it will belong to Minnesota. How many times have you seen Lawrence Taylor with that chop at the arm?
Well, this is the 3rd time this year he's done it. This is, as you said, Vern, the patented LT move with the right hand, and he didn't knock the ball out of Gannon's hand. What he did is he knocked his arm, and that released the grip on the ball. Now watch as the ball goes out of bounds here. Taylor trying to get the recovery. Gannon kicks it away from him. And the Giants don't come up with it right there. One of the Vikings got a foot on the ball and kicked it out of bounds.
Yard line, 4th down. Fumble, 28-yard line, 4th down.
That is where Gannon had the ball ripped out of his grasp by Taylor. The ball will go back to that spot, and they'll have to kick from there.
4th down, and that goes as a sack, the 4th of the day. And you saw the the 49er Cincinnati score. Mike Kofer tied that game up with a field goal with less than a minute to go. Now Newsom. And Megan at the 22 by Michael Brim. And Steve Jordan makes the tackle at the 32-yard line. John Rendell also a part of it.
We talked about LT not having 2 sacks. Well, he's got 2.5 now. Outstanding play. And Jerry Burns told us yesterday that he calls players like LT and Chris Dolman the big knockers because they have a way of being the stars. That's just his pet name for it. And LT is really showing everybody today that the rumors of his demise were greatly exaggerated.
He's a friend of Mark Twain. Talk about a guy who loves his golf game. He's got his clubs in the Giant locker room.
Practices chipping
into a paper cup and hits it. First down. The down marker says 4th down. Somebody better get that corrected. On the far sideline, they've got 4th down on the down marker.
Yeah, that's it. Dial it down. No, there he got it.
Yeah, now we're right.
No problem there. He was almost too quick for our camera crew.
Almost. 2nd down and 9. The clock at 4:15.
Well, you love to see that on the sidelines. You turn around and see how the troops are doing, and one of them breaks into a big yawn. Oh, we're in trouble, boys.
2nd and 9. 4:03 remaining. If the Giants win, they clinch the East. Looking for a 100-yard day. He's up near 80 now.
I don't know if you heard that, but somebody on the sidelines, on the Giants sidelines, yelled out, "First down and we win." That gives you some idea what they're thinking over there. But the Vikings, trying to foil that type of thinking, use their first of their second half timeouts.
That stops the clock with 3:47 to go. Joey Browner and Floyd Peters, Mark Dusbovic, and Michael Brim a part of that conversation. The Vikings have 2 left. Bill Parcells' team started at 10 wins, lost to Philadelphia, lost to the 49ers.
The decision now for Parcells is, do we want to risk putting the ball in the air against this Viking secondary that's been so effective in their nickel defenses all day long? Or do we just run the ball, punt the ball back to the Vikings, and give our defense the job of stopping the Viking offense?
Well, the Giants have yet to turn it over in this ball game. It's been an error-free, and they got the down marker right now. It's 3rd down. 3rd and 7 from the 35 with 3:47 to go. And the Giants have not been that effective out of the shotgun today. 1 of 8 on pass completions. Make it 2 of 9. No! Incomplete pass. And a flag on the near side of the field where Carl Lee and Mark Ingram were having at it, as well as Reggie Rutland and Stephen Baker. Offensive pass interference. Joey Browner says decline it.
Pass interference. Offense. Number 82 is declined. It'll be 4th down.
That was on Mark Ingram, and it was away from the direction of the ball.
Boy, and Troy Kyles dropped a sure first down there. Wouldn't have mattered anyway, but it's one of those plays you look back on. It could turn the game around.
Landetta with the wind behind him. Leo Lewis waits at the 20. Clock is running with 3:35 to go. Low snap, 1 hopper, and a short punt. This will take a significant Giant roll, though not as gargantuan as one that happened in the first half. It is at the 20-yard line. And Landetta gets a 46-yard punt, 16 of it after it hit the ground.
I guess that's how you lead the league in all those categories. You got to get a little bit lucky. Mix it with all that talent. Landetta is the best punter in the game today.
And a very modest day for Phil Simms. 8 of 19 now. And Joey Browner and his defensive teammates accomplished what they needed. 17-17. 49ers in Cincinnati. Here it's 20-15 Giants with 3:15 to go. Here comes Taylor. And the pass is picked off. Gary Reasons. And Taylor and Gannon are down.
Well, I'm not so sure what Parcells is yelling about. He ought to be congratulating his defense football team. The last 5 possessions, the Vikings have only run 3 plays on each of them. This one, it's 1 play, and the turnover But again, it's Lawrence Taylor from the right side of the screen. He goes right around the tackle and the guard and the center, all three of them there. Jack Anderson can't make the grab. Reason gets the deflection. The Giants have it at the 16, and they can salt this one away right now.
Having gone 106 passes without throwing an interception, Rich Gannon has thrown 2 in his last 4. 1st and 10. Anderson still looking for the 10,000-yard mark. And does that get it? No, he's a yard short. Trying to become one of those exclusive players who have gained 10,000 yards. He needs one more.
Yeah, the Magnificent Seven ahead of him, and that will be a great accomplishment, and it will be even sweeter because the Giants appear to have won this ball game, and with it, the NFC East.
3 turnovers for Minnesota. They have been plus 14 coming in during the 5-game win streak. They're minus 3 today. 2nd down and 9. There is the latest member of the 10,000-yard club, unless he loses a yard.
That is an amazing accomplishment for a player that the St. Louis Cardinals completely gave up on a couple years ago. And when he first came to the Giants, he wasn't used all that much. It wasn't until Joe Morris was injured that Otis came into his own here with the Giants. But that is a heck of a group.
Timeout has been called by the Vikings. You see the list headed by Walter Payton, Dorsett, Brown, Harris, Riggins, O.J., and another O.J.
And he's at exactly 10,000 yards, so nobody breathed.
You remember back years ago when Dave Hampton was trying to gain 1,000 for the Green Bay Packers, and in the last game he went over 1,000 yards for the season, and on his last carry he lost 7 yards. He wound up with 995.
And you wonder how many thousands of dollars he lost along with those thousands of yards.
Clock stopped by the Vikings. 2:15 remaining. Minnesota has 1 timeout left. The New York Giants can clinch the East with a victory. It has been a tough crawl today. 2:15 to go. Anderson. That makes it official. 1st and goal at the 5.
Well, Parcells was worried about the confidence of his football team. He needed 2 things to happen today: for Lawrence Taylor to come up big, make some big plays, and for the ground game to get going again. Well, both these things have been accomplished this afternoon.
2 minutes to go. 2 minutes separating Otis Anderson and Phil Simms and their teammates from the NFC East.
Once again, BMW takes the luxury sedan where it's never been before. The 750IL with ASC plus T, automatic stability control plus traction. Every second, computers monitor wheel slippage and apply up to 100 engine and brake adjustments, helping keep the driver in control, proving the difference between an ordinary sedan and the ultimate driving machine.
You know, they can come out with any technology they want, but this is going to be the future. With the Norelco, I get a very clean, comfortable shape. Because I have rough hands, and if I can feel smooth, then I like it. It's just so easy. You know, it's a 90s type product.
Now, Norelco's patented lift and cut system has been improved to lift each hair and cut it even closer without the blades touching your skin.
It's very close, it's very comfortable, and it's clean.
The new Norelco, a new level of closeness and comfort.
Everybody needs some money sometime.
To send money fast, call 1-800-CALL-CASH or come to any Western Union location.
In my heart just told me by some
Western Union, fastest way to send money.
Presenting a turning point in the history of screwdriving. The Black & Decker cordless screwdriver. A screwdriver so powerful it can drive 100 screws on a single charge. The Black & Decker cordless screwdriver. A powerful gift idea.
Giants with a 1st and goal just outside the 5 and a 5-point edge, 20-15. as they have used turnovers here in the second half to come from a 12-10 deficit at halftime. They have limited the Vikings to 1 field goal, and they have a 5-point edge. Minnesota can stop the clock just once more. Otis Anderson given the ball during the timeout, tossed it to one of the assistant coaches, said, save it, let me carry the ball a different one another time. And having accomplished that milestone, let's not have him lose too many yards.
Well, he might have to give the ball back.
Let's throw the thing back out there. Time has been called now by the Minnesota Vikings, and that will be their final timeout. And will this be the end of the run for Jerry Burns and the Minnesota Vikings? Scott Studwell, just in the lower right-hand part of the picture, his final season. Scott has announced he will retire at the end of 14 years. The coordinating producer of the NFL on CBS, Charles H. Milton III and Ed Gorin. Today's game produced by Mark Wolf, directed by Larry Cavallina. The NFL Today produced by Eric Mann and directed by Duke Struck, the senior producer, David Winter, and our executive producer of CBS Sports, Ted Shaker.
Wolf and Cavallina sounds like a couple of all-pros to me.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, the Vikings have a tough schedule down the road, too. They got 3 coming up against Tampa, L.A. Raiders, and the 49ers. That's the toughest remaining schedule in the league.
Second and goal, 20-15. Anderson, who's got 2 touchdowns today. That'll be a 3rd down and goal from the 4-yard line. And again, the Vikings cannot stop the clock. Bill Parcells has gone the duration of the ball game, despite the attack of kidney stones that hit him last night. Hasn't been much to smile about for any reason today until recently. But he got the big play defensively from Lawrence Taylor. A ground attack led really by Rodney Hampton today. And a good defensive effort overall.
A lot of pressure put on this man, Rich Gannon, by that pass rush led by LT.
3rd and goal. Anderson. Touchdown! His 3rd of the day. And that's 11 on the season. And there's the head knock. Pepper Johnson and Bill Parcells.
That's not fair, though. Pepper's got a stocking cap to cushion the blow. Parcells doesn't have enough problems.
Phil Simms has directed an attack. Otis Anderson has scored 3 touchdowns. Lawrence Taylor with 2.5 sacks. And the New York Giants are 1 minute and 1 second away from the NFC Eastern Division Championship. (26-15), the extra point to come.
Well, it appears that they're reviewing this play, finding out whether or not Anderson did get in the end zone before his knee hit the turf.
Upon review, we have a reversal. The ball did not cross the plane. It is short.
Now, you take these points off the board, you got to kick the field goal. That'll give you an 8-point lead and the win anyway, if it's good. They say his knee was down there before he stretched out and got in the end zone. Questionable call.
Yeah. Indisputable visual evidence. Bart Oates seems to have blocked the view from the goal line. See if we can see it from here. There's the knee.
There's the knee, but is the ball across? Did it break the plane? Now, it appears that the Giants are going to run one more play.
45-second clock will be wound.
Get the 45-second clock going.
So wipe out the touchdown.
And Simms will take the clock as far as it'll go. It started at 25 seconds on the play clock, not 45. Now, my question there is, why not 45?
Administrative stoppage.
Thank you.
That's why I'm here.
I minored in college at administrative stoppage and failed. Now, do you kick the field goal, or do you just run one into the line and try to get the touchdown? Here comes the field goal team.
Otis Anderson has the touchdown, his 11th of the season, taken away from him by Bill Fetty, the replay judge. He said, hey, man, do you know how long I have been in this league and how hard I have worked?
And how many touchdowns I scored before instant replay?
Matt Barr is on to try the field goal. 18 yards. That'll do it. .33 seconds to go. So the New York Giants, barring some kind of miracle in the final half minute, have won this game and cinched the East. The Giants at home next Saturday against Buffalo. Then they are at Phoenix and finish out the road at New England. And for the Vikings, will this be the loss that knocks them out of the playoffs? They have Tampa Bay next week, then the Raiders at home, and that should be the 49ers at home. They've got the 49ers in Minnesota on December 30th.
Next week, the Vikings will be involved with the debut of new Tampa Bay head coach Richard Williamson. And you never know about that type of situation, how the Buccaneers will respond to a new coach.
Now Tom Moore and Rich Gannon, what do you got that'll get us 9 points in 33 seconds?
Not much.
I want to thank our crew here in the booth in New York. Dave Yaggy and Mike Swanson, our statisticians. And the spotters, Joe Cash and Nancy Lundquist, the one inestimably prettier than the other. I see, now you got it's contagious. Herschel Walker to the 20.
The Vikings just dug too big a hole earlier in the year when they lost 5 in a row, and that has to be weighing on Jerry Burns' mind. Although they put 5 wins in a row together, it seems the worst thing you can do in this league now is to start up a nice winning streak. The Bears had a nice 5-game winning streak going, and Burns' boys knocked them off.
Eagles had won 5 in a row before last week. And now 1st and 10 with 29 seconds remaining. Near sideline, that'll be out of bounds. Incomplete. The clock stops at 23 seconds to go.
Bill Belichick has to be very happy with the performance of the Giants, and in particular Lawrence Taylor. What he's done in the last couple of weeks, he's turned Lawrence loose. He's let him line up all over the place. We saw how Taylor contributed to Gannon fumbling with a snap from center, and then he also knocked one loose when Gannon was scrambling. So LT is back top form.
Taylor laying back this time. Gannon way downfield, incomplete at the 35-yard line. 15 seconds to go. Lawrence Taylor, 2.5 sacks today.
Had a penalty against the Giants for lining up offsides.
56, defense offside. It'll still be 2nd down.
Lawrence Taylor guilty of the infraction. Well, the 49ers have done it again.
Yeah, the class of the league, and that really shows you they were down by 3 points there. Got the field goal from Kofor to tie it up just before the end of the game, and then Kofor obviously hit one in overtime. But who would bet against him?
Here's Gannon. And that's incomplete as Collins went up for the interception and Anthony Carter knocked the ball away. And let's check in how the 49ers won it. Back across the Hudson, here's Greg.
All right, Vern and Dan, you talked about it. Here's Mike Kofer's 23-yarder to win it 8:48 into OT, 20-17. Cincinnati loses to the 49ers. Let's go back to you.
Must have been another typical Montana drive. It was just a chip shot for Kofer.
Our score 23-15. Bill Parcells and the New York Giants 8 seconds away from the NFC East. 3rd and 5 for the Minnesota Vikings. Gannon goes deep again, this time for Chris Carter. And that will do it. The New York Giants defeat the Minnesota Vikings with a strong second half. Phil Simms and Rich Gannon meet at midfield. And a weary Bill Parcells can't even take time to celebrate. 23-15, the final score for Dan Fouts. I'm Vern Lundquist.
Santa does arrive. He's sure to bring many gifts in his sack, much like Bruce Smith of the Bills did. Maybe he'll bring a win to this Bill, whose Giants are suddenly not standing so tall. Or maybe Santa has already arrived in Houston, where his sleigh was obviously packed with Oiler touchdowns. 50 years after their 73-0 shellacking, the Skins were still struggling against the Bears. Hey, don't get upset. NFL primetime is done. I'm Chris Berman. Welcome to week number 14 of ESPN's NFL Primetime. We have assembled the usual cast of characters to tell you what happened. That means Tom Jackson, Pete Axthelm, Robin Roberts, and yes, we will enjoy, won't we? Some teams enjoying themselves down to the final seconds. The late games around the league. Let's check the scores for you now. 21 seconds to go. The Bears have just crossed midfield, trailing the Redskins 10-9. At RFK. The Bears led it 9-0 at the half. They're trying to pull one out as they've done so many times this year. The New Orleans Saints and the Los Angeles Rams. Rams have one play left with the ball, trailing in Anaheim 24-20. And with a lot of time left, just under 10 minutes to go, the Chiefs are having a tough time with the Denver Broncos. They do lead, though, 24-20, but Bobby Humphrey's 2-yard touchdown run for Denver has drawn the Broncos to within 4 points as the games end. We will update you on the scores and, of course, show you the highlights a little bit later on. We're excited about our game here tonight on ESPN. The Miami Dolphins hosting the Philadelphia Eagles. Dolphins began the day just a game behind the Buffalo Bills in the AFC East. Eagles had been a hot team until the Bills smacked them last week. And Randall, no one's been hotter than Randall Cunningham.
Thank you, Chris. In less than an hour, we will be bringing you a pair of very exciting football teams, the Eagles and the Dolphins from Joe Robbie Stadium in Miami. Good evening, everybody. The Eagles are in very good shape in the playoff picture. In fact, to a man, they believe they're going to win their last 4 games and finish 11-5. The Dolphins are 9-3, but they have something to prove tonight. They want to show that they can play with one of the NFL's more physical football teams. As always, I'm joined by Joe Theismann. And Joe, the Dolphins are a lot better than they have been in a long time. And one of the reasons they made a commitment to upgrade the offensive line, and they did it through the draft.
They really did, Mike. Their first 2 picks were offensive linemen. The first one taken was Richmond Webb at tackle. The second one, Keith Sims at guard. Both of them very strong, very good rookies. Now, you have to take into consideration, if you're the quarterback and they go out and draft 2 rookie linemen, are you going to leave town right away? Dan Marino didn't do that. As a matter of fact, he's very pleased with their play. Offenses are built around the offensive line, and when you're a quarterback, your blind side certainly is a consideration. When you take a look at the teams that have won Super Bowls, the left side tandems have been a very big part of it. Ed Buddy and Jim Jim Tyre from 63 to 72 for the Chiefs. Buddy went to 5 AFC All-Star games and 1 Pro Bowl. Tyre went to 6 AFC All-Star games and 2 Pro Bowls. And the Raiders had Gene Upshaw and Art Shell from 68 to 82. Upshaw, 1 AFC All-Star game, 6 Pro Bowls. Art Shell, 8 Pro Bowls, both of them in the Hall of Fame. And of course, the Redskins had Russ Grimm and Joe Jacoby from 81 to 88, each of them playing in 4 Pro Bowls. Now remember, all 3 of those I mentioned were all part of Super Bowl teams, and I'm sure the Dolphins hope that they'll be number 4 in the making.
Well, they'll have something to show tonight because they'll be facing one of the NFL's best defenses in Buddy Ryan's Eagles. It all comes your way at 8 o'clock Eastern. Hope you'll join us then. Right now, let's go back to Chris.
All right, Mike and Joe, thank you. What's nice is they each have their Floridian ties on tonight, so they're ready for the Dolphins against the Philadelphia Eagles, and we will be too. But we've just begun. Coming up, we'll show you how the Buffalo Bills, the team with the best record in the AFC, how they did on the road at the Indianapolis Colts, and everything else in Week 14. Did keep word.
Tonight's analysis is brought to you by Acura Automobiles. Experience precision.
Final on this one, 38-15. You beat UCLA. You're 1-1 on the year. Home again to Maryland, and Maryland was a tougher.
Same play. Rob Thomas breaking to the outside with everybody blitzing, safeties blitzing, single coverage to the outside, and Thomas is so quick that he just made his man chase him. Kip Torrington cannot stay with Rob Thomas. Well done, and I guess that's what it takes to win a championship. Marty Schottenheimer went for it. He put him away, and Canavis McGee. That much closer. They're playing right in the middle of
the end.
Quarter coming up inside. Steve DeBerge already gotten rid of the ball by the time he gets there. In a situation like that, you have to close down the spacing of those blitzers. They've got to get there quicker because all DeBerge needed was a short completion. What a banner year for this guy. He's among the best in football, and it's like a journeyman heavyweight finally getting a shot at the title and getting it.
And he took the Chiefs 80 yards, 13 plays, and in addition, he ran 7 minutes and 30.
And feel are as significant as lens.
One off here. Gets into the end zone, runs through the secondary, and at this point, Michigan State leads 21-14. And it's really getting away from you a little bit, and then you got Desmond Howard who turns it around.
Right. I think our injuries hurt our defense there a little bit, but we weren't playing.
Bell prime time.
And as you indicate, Desmond makes a great return here, puts us back in the ball game. We're in a tie game. And he's been an exceptional player for us this year, Jim. We got a little more out of Desmond than
by Apple Computer in the new, more affordable line of Macintosh computers. And by Braun electric shavers. It is through superior design that superior performance can be achieved.
Back on NFL Primetime, we'd like to welcome those of you that have just watched. The Redskins beat the Chicago Bears by the count of 10-9. And also welcome those of you that have just watched. The New Orleans Saints outlast the Los Angeles Rams 24-20. 4 straight years now, the Saints have won in Anaheim against the Rams. Highlights of both of those games a little bit later on in NFL Primetime. Let's begin with the Buffalo Bills at the Indianapolis Colts. And this game had all the makings of a trap. In years past, the Buffalo Bills would see a game like this at the Colts, kind of lay down, not play well, and get smacked. They were 1-5 at the Hoosier Dome the last 6 years. But these Bills are not those Bills, as somebody might say. They're our Bills. Bruce Smith, dominant force. Everybody wants him for our Bills. Moss and Ray Donaldson double team. That's the only way they keep him away from Jeff George on this play, but you can't always stop him.
You know, and part of his success, he's such a great player that the Bills move him around a little bit. Here he comes through the middle of the line. A good little stop and start there, puts pressure on Jeff George and bats down a pass.
When Jeff George was on the move, he couldn't escape Bruce Smith, who may have better speed. Smith had 4 sacks today, all of them in the first half, Tommy.
And we said you could double team him and stop him. You certainly can't leave him uncovered and expect him to do anything but crush Jeff George.
19 sacks on the season for Bruce Smith. And, oh, yes, the Bills' offense has scored more points than anybody in football. Jim Kelly, Andre Reed, 34-yard touchdown, 7-0 Bills very early. Next possession, same combination. Kelly to Reed for 13 yards. 2 plays later, Kelly over the middle to Reed. Breaks the team touchdown reception mark held by Elbert Golden Wheels to Benyon. Reed now has 37, 21-0 Buffalo at the half.
One of the great receivers in this league, Chris, and Kelly knows it. You get the ball to him on the cross slant, the short slant, and you just let him go with it. This looks like the same play. It is not, but they know that he has the kind of legs that once you complete the ball to him, 15, 20 yards, even 70, 80 yards. It's not something that you don't think about.
Jeff George remembers his first NFL start. Week 1, it was against the Buffalo Bills. He was knocked out of the game. This time he showed a better arm, but the problem, John Hagee of the Bills is there to snare it. They picked him off 3 times. They also helped him up, but they also helped him down. Same guy, boom, number 97, Cornelius Bennett. When George got away, he had the deflected pass intercepted by Dr. Sack, of all people, Leon Seals. Obviously his first INT of his career. 3 on the day against Jeff George. And if that wasn't enough for Buffalo, they also have Thermal Thomas. A little warmer inside the Hoosier Dome. He can catch it for 63 yards from Kelly, and he could go all the... No, he doesn't. He gets tackled here. But Thomas then runs up the middle, and he does go all the way. 23 yards for a touchdown. 76 yards rushing, 91 yards receiving, a $167 overall for Thurman Thomas. And the Bills just shellacked the Indianapolis Colts 31-7 total offense. They had 408 yards, holding the Colts to only 127 yards. And Tommy, we said before, this the type of game that the Bills would lose in the past, but they're showing something different this year. Killer instinct.
Well, killer instinct. And the thing I like is, you know, you look at the Giants, the Niners, the Chicago Bears, all teams headed for the playoffs. That's the kind of team that the Bills are. They're strong defensively, and the thing that's most impressive is they run the ball, yes, with Thurman Thomas, but they run it with everyone. That offensive line gets the job done blocking.
Tom, I have to throw in a mathematical note. I've been hunched over my computer working out incredibly complex permutations all afternoon. And I think I can say with a degree of reliability, the Colts aren't going to make the playoffs, Tom.
That's just it.
Pete, I think your computer was like this. Colts out. They're probably mathematically alive, but way to go out on a limb. One guy that's going out on a limb this year is Bruce Smith, because he is on line, perhaps, to break the NFL record for sacks. Now, they only started keeping record of this in the last decade. Mark Gastineau of the Jets danced 22 times back in 1984. Bruce Smith already, with 3 games to go, has 19. When we come back, the Patriots and Browns, two great squads.
Hey, you don't have to steal that. They're practically giving it away at High's.
That's right, at High's Discount Appliance and Bedding, we've got the lowest prices on name brand appliances and bedding. Visit our showroom at 35 Road 303 in Tappan and check out our full line of air conditioners, refrigerators, TVs, microwaves, and more. And if they don't have it, they'll get it.
Remember, the name is high, the price is low.
It's spectacular, exciting, brilliant. It's Holiday in Lights. Now through January 5th, Liberty State Park, exit 14B off the New Jersey Turnpike. Over 500 trees illuminated with over 50,000 lights. Moving holiday characters. See Santa, his helpers, and animals magically come to life. All from the comfort of your own car. Bring the whole family, only $6.
Roberts is with us now, and your own computer said that Chuck Noll was just, what, 1 shy of 200 wins, right?
Yeah, that wasn't too difficult. Carry the one at, you really thought at the beginning of the year, the way they were starting off so slow, you weren't sure if he was going to get to number 200. And that tough loss last week to Cincinnati, and after a tough divisional loss like that, it had to be nice for the Steelers to know that they would face the lowly Patriots on the field today. Losers of 10 straight, and Chuck Noll trying to make that elite club, trying to do what only 4 other men have done, and that is win 200 games in his coaching career. Pittsburgh's first play from scrimmage. Tim Worley has it. No, he doesn't. Coughs it up. Fred Marion recovers it for New England. Former Steeler great mean Joe Green wants his team to retaliate. John Stevens fumbles it right back. Darrell Williams recovers for Pittsburgh. Second quarter, it's 3-0 Pittsburgh. Tim Worley with a tough 12-yard run down to the 38-yard line. But Worley would give it up again, and once again, Fred Marion recovers for New England. Patriots with a 4th and 1, and Marvin Allen, he is simply hammered by Pittsburgh's Greg Lloyd. Steelers take over. Tim Worley, not known as a pass receiver coming out of the backfield, but he makes his 8th catch of the year. He's going to drag tacklers to the 10-yard line. The former Georgia Dog, he simply does not want to go down. 2 plays later, Merrill Hodge punches it in from 7 yards out, 10-0 Steelers. Third quarter, 10-3 Steelers. Patriots gamble on a 3rd and 1 by going to the air. Tommy Hudson goes to Zeke Mowat, who fumbles it. David Little recovers for Pittsburgh. Rod Russ watches his Patriots just self-destruct. Pittsburgh leading 10-3. Bubby Brister looks for 274-pound rookie Eric Green, who makes the catch in the end zone. Green leads NFL tight ends with 7 touchdowns, TJ.
You know, Robin, one of the things that Pittsburgh's done defensively, they've become a great pursuit team, and they do love to gang tackle, as they do right here on Hartley Dykes.
Fourth quarter at 17-3. Merrill Hodge, a sensational game. He'll tightrope down the sideline for a 41-yard touchdown score, Axe.
As Merrill goes, so go the Steelers. That's why I made him a coach here.
Bet you did. 19 carries on the day for Merrill, 117 yards, 2 touchdowns, and yes, Chuck Noll picks up win number 200 as the Steelers win by a final of 24-3. The Patriots have allowed an opposing back to rush for 100 yards for the 7th consecutive game and the 10th time in 13 games. And so Chuck Noll becomes the 5th winningest coach in NFL history, joining Papa Bear, Don Shula, Tom Landry, and Curly Lambeau as the only coaches to have reached the 200-win plateau. Shula could pick up 295 tonight here on ESPN when the Dolphins take on the Eagles. The Oilers looking for their first sweep of Cleveland since 1981. The Oilers Santa Claus in the Astrodome, but it was Cleveland giving out the gifts today. Gift number 1, Bernie Kosar, picked off by former Giant Terry Kennard. And Kennard returns it 40 yards down the sideline before being hauled down by Reggie Langhorne from behind. Gift number 2, Kosar under center, fumbles a snap. The ball is kicked around and recovered by Houston's John Grimsley. Gift number 3, Kosar with a completion to Kevin Mack. Got hit by Johnny Meads. It's ruled a fumble. And Kennard again picks it up, heads down the sideline. He's not going to get caught this time, going 72 yards for the score. And it's tough to win when you turn over the ball 4 times and you're penalized 11 times for 76 yards. And Warren Moon wouldn't let that slip by. He would capitalize. Warren Moon going 7 yards for the score to Ernest Givens from where?
Louisville. And at Louisville, they had a course 101 where you had to learn to dance
and shake like that. And it was Moon again. Here he goes, 17 yards to Leonard Harris for the touchdown. Moon 17 of 25, only 190 yards, his lowest output of the year. 2 touchdown passes, still looking for his 9th 300-yard game. There was one bright spot for the Browns today, and of course we'll show it to you on the kickoff. Eric Metcalf took it from a yard deep in the end zone, and watch Metcalf fly. He takes it 101 yards for the touchdown. The only bright spot for Cleveland, but this day simply belonged to Lorenzo White. Here White breaks the line. It goes in 10 yards out for the score, TJ.
Tremendous combination by White of speed and power. Here he makes the nice cut right there on Clay Matthews, regains his balance, goes down to the 1-yard line. That set up his 2nd TD of the day. Then you watch him this time as he gets close to the goal line. He shows you the power as he goes through 3 Browns for his 3rd touchdown of the day.
But he was not finished. Here comes his 4th touchdown, a 5-yard scamper. He almost celebrates a little too early, but he does score. White, 18 carries, 116 yards, 14 touchdowns. The Oilers roll a franchise high 58 points, 58-14 the final. They had 45 at the half, the third most in NFL history. The Oilers now 7-6 and have moved into the first place tie with Pittsburgh and Cincinnati in the AFC Central, becoming very interesting in that division.
Yeah, that's going to be back and forth
Yes,
and back and forth right down to the wire, as they say. Our congratulations to Chuck Noll, of course. And you mentioned it, Robin, that the Houston Oilers, by scoring those 45 points, only 2 teams have ever scored more in the first half in NFL history. The 83 Packers at 49 against the Bucs. The 66 Buffalo Bills at 48 against the Dolphins. But the Oilers' outburst today is as good as it gets. When we return, we're coming up on the Niners and Bengals in OT, plus the Giants and the Vikings.
The Subaru Legacy is a lot larger than the...
Look at this. 20, and we'll be back in just a moment.
Dodge did more ice.
I'm going to tell Mr. Ross to give your account to someone else.
I won't let him. I'll never let anyone else touch my books. Oh, God, Molly. I'm gonna burst if you don't kiss me soon.
Round, round, get around, I get around, yeah, get around, round, round, I get around, I get around, round, round, I get around, get around, round, round, I get around, get around, round, round, I get around, I'm getting bug driving.
Quick.
Vikings, a very hot ball club, had won 5 in a row. The New York Giants all of a sudden had lost 2 in a row. Oh, how things had turned in the NFC. Not to the liking of Bill Parcells and the G-Men. Let's pick it up in the shadow of Jimmy Hoffa at the Meadowlands. Bill Parcells on the sidelines, playing hurt. More on that later. He was hurt even more when Phil Simms was wrapped up for a safety gently by Chris Dolman. A Ken Herbeck 2-run homer, and Minnesota leads it 2-0.
Jumbo Elliott, freshly off IR here, just can't control the inside power of Chris Dolman as he gets to Phil Simms.
Then things look bleaker when, for the Giants, on 4th and inches at the 24, they give it to Otis Anderson. He's nailed by the Vikings defense, and the Giants come up short. Floyd Peterson's defense did a great job. Bill Parcells says, maybe 3 in a row? First for Herschel.
Herschel Walker ran extremely hard today. Here he nails Greg Jackson.
It's contagious. The Vikings lead at 5-3 after a Kirby Puckett 3-run home run. And Rich Gannon throws it to Steve Jordan from Brown University. And Jordan is finally brought down to the 1-yard line, setting up Allen Anderson's touchdown. It's 12-3 Minnesota. Giants finally did get it together on the kickoff by Fuad Reves, number 30. Look at that maggot rock. Dave Maggot does the job. It's a 59-yard return into Viking territory to get the G-Men fans on their feet. Another youngster made a big contribution for the Giants, the #1 draft pick, Big Rodney Hampton. He didn't play much Monday night, but showed the quick feet. And he ran for 78 yards on 19 carries. Minnesota seemed, though, to be in charge as the second half begun. On 2nd and 7 from the 9, though, the game turned. Gannon hits Steve Jordan. This time he's peppered by Pepper Johnson. Myron Guyton scooped up the fumble, and the Giants dodge a bullet. First play of the 4th quarter, Jerry Burns' squad leading 15-10. 2nd and 6 for Gannon. Play action. Picked off by number 47, Greg Jackson. Runs across the field. Out of bounds at the 32, sets up a Matt Barr field goal, 15-13 Minnesota. And enter one Lawrence Taylor.
LT, an outstanding day today here. Gannon gets outside the pocket, but he can't avoid LT on the outside. And then you're going to see few linebackers do this. The little short screen to Herschel Walker, LT right down the line of scrimmage. And he's not the easiest guy in the world to bring down.
4th quarter, the Giants offense, which struggled all day, finally woke up. 2nd and 11, Sims to a leaping Stephen Baker for 14 yards and a first down. On 1st and goal from the 2. O.J. Anderson, second touchdown of the day. The Giants lead 20-15. Just under 7 minutes to go. O.J. over the 10,000-yard barrier, although he averaged just over 1.5 yards a carry today. Late in the 4th from the 20. Gannon pressured by LT. Just gets rid of it, and then picked off by Gary. Reasons to believe. The veteran linebacker saves the day for the Giants. They tack on a field goal, and it's headbutt 2. The Giants, after 2 straight losses, the Eagles and then the Niners, come back to beat the Vikings 23-15. After the game, Bill Parcells spoke about Lawrence Taylor.
Hey, nothing that guy does surprises me. You know, it's just, he's a great, great player. Best defensive player over the last 10 years. And it's not close for second.
LT came in at halftime and he told everybody that's just not the way the New York Giants defense plays. We don't play back on our heels. We play attacking and aggressive style. And he said he's going to go out there and do it the way it's supposed to. And anybody who wants to join along can come with him. So he kind of carried the defense with us.
So Lawrence Taylor carried the defense. O.J. Anderson is now carried into the 10,000-yard club, becoming only the 8th man to do it. And folks, this is a pretty impressive list to be on. Has a couple of O.J.'s on it at 7 and 8. So our congratulations to O.J. Anderson, and of course Eric Dickerson's still active, but that's a good list to be on, and Anderson is now the newest member. Bill Parcells had an attack of kidney stones last night during a coaches meeting, checked himself into a hospital last night, came back to the park this morning on a leave, but says he'll go back into the hospital in New Jersey for a night or 2. He says, I asked my players to play hurt. He asked himself to play hurt. He did so. His players got him a win. And, Tommy, we saw it. Lawrence Taylor played like the man that maybe not at the top of his game in the early 80s, but I think he's okay.
You know, Bill Parcells always makes the point that every time a great young linebacker comes around, they say the next LT. And after the criticism that he's gotten this season, it was great to see him have a multiple sack day, 2.5 sacks, 12 tackles, and maybe the biggest play he made, pressuring Gannon into the interception by Reasons. Just a play that I think put the game away for him.
Well, the Giants have gotten a lot of publicity this year, but one team that has not has been the Seattle Seahawks. This just in. Chuck Knox is doing a heck of a coaching job. Why are we not surprised? You know, it's the only team, the Seahawks, that did not get a September win, but yet here they are talking playoffs as they met the Packers in Milwaukee. And they met the Packers without the Magic Man, Don Majkowski. They had the Wizard, Anthony Dilweg. But Dilweg was hardly like Merlin. Incomplete to Jeff Query. Watt. And then a bomb to Query. Nowhere. He was 6 of 22, and his first completion was to Seattle's Dwayne Harper, who runs it back inside the 15. Question on the day at County Stadium, what is wrong with the Packers?
Communication problem. Communication problem.
That was not the case for Dave Craig and the Seahawks. After the interception, Craig. Tough catch by Jeff Chadwick for a touchdown, 7-0 Seahawks. Derek Fenner blasted in for 14 yards. Fenner had 112 yards on the day. The Seahawks led it 17-0. 112 yards on 20 carries for Fenner. In fact, Fenner outran the entire Packer offense. Packers ran for 13 yards. There's one of them from Michael Haddix. There's not even one of them from Keith Woodside. There's none of them by Keith Woodside. No yards rushing in the first half, as we mentioned, just 13 in the game. And Dilweg continued to be a big zero. Incomplete. Look to Herman Fontenot. So the Wizard didn't work. The Magic Man's on the sidelines. What's wrong with Anthony today? It was a communications problem, and so enter the sorcerer, Blair Keel, who hadn't thrown a pass in 3 years in the NFL, but he hits Perry Kemp on a touchdown. Yes, it was a touchdown, 20-7. Onside kick. The Packers recover. Keel with more magic. Finds Ed Go West, young man. 20-14 Seattle. The pooch kick. Nesby Glasgow fumbles it. And the Packers are in a position to win the game, down only 20-14. But on 4th down, the sorcerer can't deliver. To Jeff Query, Lenny and Fonte said, my goodness, we came from behind. But Seattle, this was a luxury for them because, you see, they won it with a minute to go. Their last 3 wins have come on the last play of the game. The Seahawks are 7-6 as they beat the Packers up in Milwaukee 20-14. Getting back to the Vikings, and once again they lost outside. They've won only one of their last 13 games outdoors. Look at these three dome teams, the Vikings, the Lions, and the Patriots. Indoors, they're fine, but outdoors, a big, fat 0. They've had a communications problem outside. Back with the Niners and Bengals in a moment.
The canoe message. C, come on over. A, alone. N, now. O, E, etc.
Oh, canoe, canoe?
The cologne by Dana. Wear it. She'll get the message.
It started with a hand, because shape and feel are as significant as lens and shutter. Introducing the Infinity Super Zoom 330 from Olympus, where great pictures and great design go hand in hand.
Live, top-ranked boxing on ESPN. The place where fighters have stepped into the ring as unknown, made the right connection, and emerged as champions.
You gotta knock him out to win this, all right?
Former world champion Razai Bramble battles his way back to the top. He faces Tony Martin in a junior welterweight clash. Top-ranked boxing, Thursday night at 9 Eastern, live on ESPN.
Aloha again from Maui and the final round of the $450,000 GTE Ka'anapali Classic. Through 14, Bob Charles nursing a 2-stroke lead over Lee Trevino and Harold Henning. Moments ago at the par 5 15th, an eagle try by Trevino. So the Merrimacs, who's won 7 times so far this year, would tap in for a birdie, but so too would Bob Charles. They're in the day's last group. Charles leading by 2. We'll come back in about 20 minutes for yet another update. But right now, let's go back to prime time. Chris.
All right, the 49ers certainly got no breather. Uneasy wears the crown that is the champion, something like that. I think I mixed my metaphor, but what do you want? We're here a long time. The 49ers beat the Giants on Monday night. Then they had to go into Cincinnati, a team that fully remembered their 2 Super Bowl losses in Super Bowl 23 and Super Bowl 16. And a team that was playing without Ronnie Lott with the 49ers today struggled early against the Bengals. James Brooks on the misdirection. The Bengals can look so good at times. Here he picks up 18. On the next play, nobody looks better running this play than Boomer when he's on. Esiason hits Tim McGee, gain of 26, and very early on, the 49ers backpedaling. 4 plays later, Esiason stops, avoids a tackle, hits Craig Taylor, touchdown, 7-0 Bengals. Welcome to the jungle. Hey, there's Bernie Perrott.
Chris, the key to this play is Esiason's pump right there to get Waymer up into the air. Then he recocks, throws the ball to Craig Taylor for the touchdown. And defensively, the Bengals blitzed all day, but here you see Jesse Sapolu picked up by James Francis, or James Francis picked up nicely by him, giving Montana the time to throw the football.
To Jerry Rice for 12 yards. On 3rd and goal, Rathman, no. But on 4th and goal, a rare rushing touchdown for the Niners. Tom Rathman gets it, and it's a boom. We're tied at 7-all. Second quarter was a standoff. Best hit, unfortunately for field judge Donnie Hampton, was issued by the Niners' Greg Cox. 7-7 at the half. Matt Millen, was he immense on Monday night? He was immense today. He was intense. Boomer rolls out and finds a tight end Rodney Holman, pick up at 25 yards. Then 7 plays later, the play fake. Boomer to James Brooks, wide open. It's a touchdown for Cincinnati. But as somebody once said, hold everything.
Illegal motion, offense, number 30, 5-yard penalty, repeat the down.
Ickey was against you. It results in only a field goal and a 10-7 Bengals lead. George Seifert, hoping the Niners could eventually run the ball. They did so today. Watch number 79, Harris Barton here, Tom.
Yeah, he's pulling on this play. Kicks out on James Francis. You see Jerry Rice blocking downfield. And they get Roger Craig a gain of 16 yards.
Harry Sidney goes into the end zone untouched, and the Niners lead at 14-10. Sidney, a guy that's doing well out of the backfield now as the Niners rush for 204 yards, much more than the Bengals, to the chagrin of Sam Weish. But here comes Ickey Rupton for a big gain of 21 yards in the 4th quarter. Then 3 plays later, Ickey fighting off the hit from Keith DeLong, a touchdown. Weich's Bengals up 17-14, and they're shuffling in the jungle. So would the Bengals defense hold down the stretch? Well, if you were Joe Montana, Tom, Who do you think, you go back to pass it, who do you think you'd look to?
Jerry Rice.
Yeah,
hard decision.
It's a good idea. There he is. This game picked up 27 yards. Helped setting up. Final 4-minute drive. They were deep, but they settled for a field goal by Mike Cofer at 23 yards, and we go to overtime. Trying to cover Jerry Rice, you couldn't do it. He caught 8 balls for 101.
He makes this look easy. It's just a simple slant, but he has such explosiveness inside. Phillips just couldn't keep up with him.
Overtime. The Niners win the toss immediately on 3rd and 6. Montana goes to Rice for 7 yards. A couple plays later, Mike Cofer for a field goal, 23 yards. It's good. It was just like that. The Bengals never even saw the football in OT. And the 49ers go on to win for the second time within the span of a week. They beat the Cincinnati Bengals 20-17, but not everybody was impressed. Afterwards, David Fulcher says the Niners don't do all the things that he likes to see.
I'm just so sick of hearing that team's name, man, and how invincible, and they can't be beat, they can't be this, man. That's about, those guys are some of the cheapest. I mean, those guys do things, man, that people don't see. Okay, I mean, as far as punching and trying to stick you in your eyes and cheap shot artists, man. I mean, you're supposed to be the best, and to be the best is to go out and play the best, I guess. And I'm assuming that maybe people look past all them cheap shots because of how good they are.
One guy who is awfully good is Joe Montana. He has now reached the number 4 spot all time on the NFL passing charts. Only the 3 guys who have hit the 40,000-yard mark, Fran, Dan, and Johnny U, have more yards than Joe Montana, who passed Jim Hart into the number 4 spot, 34,691 yards. And Axe, the drive to tie it. Joe is not that nice. Is that what you're telling me, Montana?
Well, he's a tease. He lets you think you're in the game, but when he's the last guy to touch the ball, you can almost set your watch by him. One footnote to David Fulcher. I've heard from people around the league that you'll take a pretty good shot at them, too.
All right. Guys that want to take a shot at each other, the Cards and the Falcons. 2 birds of a feather flocked together as the Cards flew to Atlanta to try and dispense of the Falcons. Dexter Manley back in uniform. Didn't really do much today. Has a chance to recover a fumble, but he misses the ball that Broussard fumbles, and Atlanta maintains possession. Falcons lead at 3-0. Second quarter, Tim Rosenblatt steps up and spots Ricky Prohl's shampoo for a 45-yarder. Scott Case missed the ball, 7-3 Cards. Atlanta tried to razzle-dazzle. Look at Chief Jones fire it to Andre Bad Moon Rison. 37-yard play down to the 20-yard line. Next play, Scott Campbell subbing for Chris Miller. It's Gary Wilkins, and Atlanta leads it 10-7. Just before the half, it's that famed Rosenblatt to Prohl combination down to the 25. The clock runs out, but no, they say Atlanta is offsides with a second to go. Glanville doesn't agree, but it results in a field goal by Al Del Greco to tie the game at 10-all. Watch Deion Sanders. Prime time. Tries to leap over kicker Al Del Greco. Now, last week, all right, Cardinals against the Colts. They win the game when Cedric Mack picks off Jeff George. He, in turn, after making a couple of nice moves, laterals to Marcus Turner, who goes in for the touchdown as the Cards won. Now, remember that and look at today's game. Scott Campbell, intercepted by Cedric Mack, and guess what he's going to do? It's rugby time. So number 47 dishes it off, but it's Jay Taylor. He says, wait a minute, it's not supposed to be me. It's supposed to be Marcus Turner. He was looking to lateral it. At any rate, the play goes down to the 18, setting up an Anthony Thompson touchdown. When Bobby Butler picks it off, the Falcons say, maybe we'll try it. Butler, do I dish it? Yes, I do. To Deion Sanders, time, but play is whistled dead at the 46. Finally in the fourth quarter, Campbell's pass picked off Marcus Turner, doesn't need a lateral. He has his second touchdown in 2 weeks. And the Cardinals have won 3 in a row. They beat Atlanta 24-13. And we cannot say enough for the coaching job done by Joe Bugle and his staff. After that first week, it looked like Phoenix had the worst team in the league. They've won on the road in Philly. They've won 3 in a row now. They almost won at the Giants. He has done a great job this year in bringing the Cardinals to respectability in a hurry. When we return, highlights from Arrowhead between the Broncos and the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll show you the Bears and the Redskins. But first, Atlanta in the first quarter is a pretty good team. They've outscored their opponents 84-28. But in the last 3 quarters, mercy, mercy, mercy. We'll be back.
when this...
The score 31-7 Bills, and that was the final, as they have now made the playoffs for the third straight year, piling up 408 yards in offense to just 127 for the Colts. The Colts losing 41 yards on the sacks. At Arrowhead, the Broncos trying to end a 5-game skid against the Chiefs. They don't do it. They fumbled the opening kick. Chiefs took advantage. Christian Okoye, flea flicker with Steve DeBerg, who hits the wide open Stephon Page, 49-yard strike. Chiefs get on the board, 7-0. And Dan Reeves, perhaps sensing what was to come, but Elway scrambling to the outside, perfect pass to Michael Young. Look at that. Young keeps both his feet in, 16-yard score, and well, the Denver DJ, we'll have more on him in a minute. He was happy, not for long. 4th and 3rd for the Chiefs, and the Broncos blitz, and DeBerg hits Rob Thomas, who races down the sideline for the score. What a day for DeBerg.
Available at Service Merchandise, America's leading jewelers.
Holiday greetings from Budweiser. The people who bring you Budweiser wish you and yours the very best of everything.
One spectacular event.
Dreams do come true.
Get a big razor up there to shave with. He'll probably have a beard as long as, probably go down to ground level before.
The Olympic athletes who found a better way. Whose ideas were so original, there's no going back. That same innovative thinking helped us invent Post-it brand notes. And the way you leave messages has never been the same. 3M, innovation working for you.
Back here on Prime Time, the Kansas City Chiefs all of a sudden have become the heavy in the AFC West. They were playing the ex-heavyweight, the Denver Broncos.
Ooh, you gonna say that with Tommy? We're sitting there right next to you.
He knows better than the rest of us.
Yeah, the Chiefs haven't had a share of the AFC West lead this late in the season since something like 1981. So that's a new territory for them. The Chiefs went looking for their 4th straight win. They haven't put together 4 wins in a row since 1986, and a chance for Marty Schottenheimer to put an end to his personal 0-6 mark against Denver. The Broncos had won only 3 games this season, but one of them came over Denver, or rather over the Chiefs in week number 2. That was Schottenheimer's 6th loss to Denver. Chiefs came out firing. First series, Steve DeBerg hands off to Christian Okoye. Laterals back to DeBerg, who throws a 49-yard touchdown pass to Stephon Page. Chiefs up 7-0, and Tommy, you got to know that Bronco coach Dan Reeves, he's going to be furious about that defensive lapse.
Robin, I think that for him, this is the most frustrating season that he's ever had, with the losses combined with the health problems.
I bet it has been. The Broncos respond. John Elway to Shannon Sharp for a 27-yard gain. Same drive, Elway finds Sharp in the end zone, his first NFL touchdown. The PAT was no good. Chiefs lead 7-6. That kind of season for the Broncos. The Chiefs defense continue to struggle. Denver on the KC6. Elway scrambles right to avoid the pass rush and finds Michael Young, who keeps his feet in bounds with the score. It's 13-7 Denver, but the second half turnovers would plague the Broncos. Elway picked off by Kevin Ross. Good job there. Elway then passes to Sharp. Dino Hackett knocks it loose. Kevin Ross, he's there again to recover. Bobby Humphrey takes the handoff. Lloyd Burris knocks it loose, and the Chiefs would recover. And KC would capitalize. Christian Okoye, he doesn't get in to score here, and he sprained his right shoulder on the play. No touchdown. He had to be helped off, and needless to say, he did not return with a sprained right shoulder. But on 4th and goal, Barry Word would score, and the Chiefs took a 17-13 lead. Then in the 4th quarter, 2nd and goal for KC. DeBerg off the play action, it's a wide open Dante Whitaker for the touchdown. Whitaker's first NFL touchdown makes it 24-13. Broncos close to within 24-20, but on 4th and 3, DeBerg hits Rob Thomas. What kind of defense is that for the touchdown? 31-20. Chiefs. DeBerg with another big day. 18 of 27, 252 yards, 3 touchdowns, and Marty Schottenheimer gets his first win over Denver. He is now 1-6, and the Broncos lose 31-20. Their 6th straight loss, or worst slide since they lost 9 games in 1967. Let's check out the Saints and the Rams at Anaheim. Now, the last time these teams met, a little flashback, was last season. And Flipper Anderson had the game of his life. 336 yards receiving, which set the NFL record. How would he do today? Well, not bad at all. He reels in this Jim Everett fling for 44 yards, which set up a field goal. Then Flipper beats Toy Cook for another 29-yard gain. Score tied at 3-all in the second quarter. On 3rd and 20, Everett is forced to scramble, and he scrambles just short of the first down, but Gene Atkins hits him late, and that gives L.A. new life. Everett then ducks under the blitz, his best Randall Cunningham impression. He butts in for the score and lets Vince Buck know about it. He's fired up, Jim Everett is. L.A. led 10-3 at the half, looking for some trouble there, but Everett got a little bit sloppy. Here he fails to read Brett Maxey floating free in the secondary, and Maxey steps in and intercepts the pass. And 50 yards later, down the sideline, the game is tied at 10-all. But Everett, he's quick to make up for his error. He finds Henry Ellard for the 42-yard touchdown score, wide open. L.A. led 17-10. Big play in the game right here. Everett lobs a pass to Pete Holohan. He makes a great one-handed catch. You got to give him that much. But he lands on the 6-inch line. He does not get in for the score, and the Rams are forced to kick a field goal to make it 20-10, and the Saints would march back. Gil Finnery, the third down back for New Orleans, rumbles on 3rd and 1 for 60 yards and the touchdown. Saints within 3 at 20-17. 6 minutes left after a Cleveland Gary fumble. Steve Walsh hits Eric Martin, and the Saints lead 24-20. Rams get a final chance, but Pat Swilling sacks Everett on the blitz. The clock runs. Final play, Swilling again nails Everett, but wait, he's offsides. Rams get one more shot, but Everett, everybody's covered, can't find a receiver, dumps incomplete to Buford McGee, and the Saints, hold off the Rams. 24-20 is the final. And what is it about the Saints when they play at Anaheim? 4th straight time they've won there.
See those linebackers, and you saw right at the end of the game, Swilling just continue to befuddle Jim Everett and company. They like it. They like the sun out there in Anaheim. They get out. There's a dome team that can win outside. When we return, the Bears and the Redskins rumble at RFK. But first, let's rumble into our 100-yard receivers, and they call him Flipper, albeit in a losing effort. He caught 5 for 123 for the Rams. Henry Ellard was over the C-note as well. But guess what? They lost. Jerry Rice, guess what? He won. We'll be back.
The 1990 in the early 50s, and when
and turns that into a touchdown. Jim Mora fired up. The game's tied at 10. Everett.
And the Philadelphia Eagles live on ESPN at the top of the hour at 8 Eastern Time. 50 years and a day after the Chicago Bears in the NFL title game went to Griffith Stadium in Washington, D.C. and edged the Redskins 73-0. The Redskins tried to get a little revenge. Took them a while. Took them 50 years to score a point, right? Well, it looked that way for a while because the Bears are playing defense, and Hazel Height was at the game 50 years ago, and she didn't like this because in that game 50 years ago, the Bears made 8 interceptions. They picked up Mark Rippon 3 times in the first half. There's one for Mark Carrier. Ricky Sanders drops it. Carrier with another interception. Then we'll try Gary Clark. Rippon doesn't read the defense. Donnell Wolford makes the pick. Kevin Butler kicked 3 field goals after the 3 interceptions. And the Bears led it 9-0 at the half. Rippon still looked for his posse. Here he finds Ricky Sanders. Here he drills one to Art Monk. Beautiful sliding catch. And then to Gary Clark. And finally, the Redskins have scored a touchdown. It's a 9-7 game. Rippon might not be the GOAT. Gary Clark running down the sidelines to get the fans wild. The Bears met the challenge. Jim Harbaugh. Unbelievable toss to Wendell Davis to keep the drive alive. Kevin Butler from 46. No, off the upright. Might get he's calm and relaxed because his team is up 9-7. But Mark Rippon trying to gun it deep. Intercepted by Marcus Paul. But on the return, there's a fumble. Joe Gibbs can't buy a break. The Redskins defense holding tough. with all sorts of implements. Griffin looking deep for Gary Clark. Carrier makes his third interception of the day, so Griffin picked off 5 times on the afternoon. But Joe Gibbs also has a defense. And then here's a punt from Mort Buford. Brian Mitchell, the sometimes quarterback, pretty good returner, gets the Skins in good field position. 5 minutes to go in the game. 54-yard field goal from Chip Lohmiller. No good. And the Bears still lead it 9-7. Next play, Brad Muster fumbles the football. Redskins get their break. As it's rumbling, bumbling, stumbling, they fall on it. Craig Minuski and the Redskins smell a victory with 2:14 to go. This time from 35. Chip Lohmiller. Good. Redskins lead it 10-9. And Ditka pacing the sidelines. Kevin Butler hoping to get his chance for the win. Harbaugh is intercepted by A.J. Johnson. And the Redskins are forced to punt. Bears have one last chance. Harbaugh on the 46, 11 seconds to go. But Charles Mann sacks him to end the ball game. And the Washington Redskins defeat the Chicago Bears by a count of 10-9. And this one was a slugfest. You had a feeling it would be axed. The Redskins finally come out on top.
Well, when you have 5 interceptions and hold the other team to only 3 field goals, that is defense. The Redskins played with tremendous intensity. I think it was a message to Joe Theismann. If Joe Gibbs is burned out, Joe, can you spare me a match?
And, Pete, I've been in games like this where, for one reason or another, the offense just can't get things started. Great job today by the Washington defense of standing up against those turnovers, especially Darrell Green. I think we forget how good a defensive back he is.
And what that means overall is that the 49ers essentially have a 2-game lead with 3 to go for the overall home field advantage in the NFC playoff picture, and we'll have more on that in a moment. But keep in mind, the Bears, with the loss, gives them now 3 on the year. 100-yard rushers for the 2nd straight week. Ernest Biner hits the century mark. He had 121. Acts his hero with 117. Derek Fenner had a big day for Seattle, had 112 yards. And Gil Fenetier over the C-note. As far as passers go, 0 for 2. The E guys, Everett and Elway, were the L guys. We'll be back.
The GTE economy.
And precise.
Acts a prediction that may be true, that the 3rd wild card team in the NFC would be 8-8, and it's going to look that way. That somebody was, I forget who it was, in the AFC, in the East. Next 5 weekends. On Saturdays, we go a half hour at 11:30 Eastern Time in the morning. And on Sunday, our usual hour at noon Eastern Time. So we'll see you Saturday and Sunday, the rest of December, and into January. Won't that be fun? Big games next week. Big one on Saturday we'll be talking about on that Game Day show.